And like that, we're back with another Unpack presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the G Shit Podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
all right, y'all see it. We're back. We're back again. Part 2. Last week it was a really good one. It was a really fun one. We spoke about marriage, if it still had value to modern marriage. We'll hit a couple more spots inside this conversation. Some of them are like, is marriage just a contract? Staying single better? Is it a necessary status symbol? Should we explore different versions of marriage? I don't know. They're doing the whole sister wives thing now. I heard that's cool in the hotep circles. I don't know. We're gonna get there, but before we go and engage in this conversation, y'all see the panel. Fire as always. We got the 4 horsemen back. Nonetheless, this is Unpack. G, talk to him. What's going on, brother?
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the G Shit Podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and fuck everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSHPOD.
Beside him, a third of the To Be Fair Show, the host of the To Be Fair Show, catch him riding in the caddy with Benny the Butcher, and J. Cole. Johnny, talk to us, brother.
What's going on, man? It's your boy Johnny P, host of the To Be Fair Show. Glad to be back. Part 2, ready to, kind of break it down and see what we missed from last week and, land that plane on the right subject.
Gotcha. Any takes you want to walk back yet, Johnny?
Just the one I said right before we came on here.
Okay, you ain't gonna. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, some call him the mayor of Charlotte. Some call him A Black TV. Black is gold. Man of many names. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Excited for the conversation. Excited to be here, man. And follow me. A Black. Black is gold.
All right, fellas. So I guess before we hit the more serious icebreakers that we have lined up, I feel that it probably makes sense to start with something a little more lighthearted. We're going to start off with a little bit of B. Simone this week. I think that it can branch itself into an interesting conversation, possibly. We're going to see where it takes us. B. Simone.
You see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I never like finances. The budgeting, you see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah.
I notice it in me now, just nitpicking. And it's not even, I just don't have it like to spend the liquid. Yeah. I'm used to having liquid.
All right. I also seen this and I thought that this was hilarious, but, yeah, guys. What is y'all thoughts? She's kind of going down the whole the trope of getting the money, bragging about the money, being humbled by how quick the money came, and is on social medias complaining about I don't know if we would say like her budgeting skills, her financial literacy. I'll toss it out as just see what is y'all thoughts just to start off. Talk to me, fellas.
I'll say this. I don't want to laugh at nobody's, pain. So, I hope she, get it together and, I push prosperity on her. But I will say this. Going from Bloomingdale's to H&M isn't like going broke. That's called financial literacy or financial fiscal responsibility is really what it is. So, it's a lot of millionaires that shop in H&M. They just choose to spend their money and they do what they want to do. So just because, your what they call it, disposable income is different, don't necessarily mean you just going broke. You just have to, do it a little different.
Gotcha.
Ain't nothing wrong with H&M too. Like some of my favorite shit that came out of H&M too.
Tell her you got that H&M t-shirt on right now. G, talk to us, brother.
Man, you know, some people got that champagne taste on a beer budget. You know that saying old heads be saying, but I feel like you know, unfortunately, wealth and taste don't always equal. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you don't have money don't necessarily mean you don't want things that are expensive, and just because you have all the money don't even necessarily mean you want the most expensive things. These things don't always go hand in hand. So I just feel like it is like you said, like it's what similar to what Johnny said. It's just a misstep in financial illiteracy. It's tough to go back to Hamburger Helper when you get used to those ribeyes and fillets. So, you know, I can understand like getting used to something and then taking a step back, because I mean the fabric is different. You know what I'm saying? It's different going from Banana Republic to Old Navy. You feel the difference in the quality of those shirts. And so you know, I wouldn't make fun of anybody for having to, you know, take a step back, but you know, I've always been a big proponent of you got to stay down till you come up. So you really shouldn't be buying these luxury items until you've like checked some other boxes as it relates to your personal finances. So I think she unfortunately got the money fast and started spending it fast and didn't check those appropriate boxes so that she has some, you know, some stability moving forward.
Gotcha. Hey, Black.
Yeah, man. A lot of people COVID money running out now, man.
And them COVID streams had a up.
I'm serious. Like, you know, it's 2025. B Simone, she's a content creator. She's an entrepreneur, and she's a lot of her peak. When she made her first million and she documented that, a lot of her peak kind of came in that like COVID, post-COVID space of, you know, just booming online anything. If you create content, if you're selling shit online, she had a book, she had a little product she was selling. So she was booming. So I think people like her get in that space of getting that money quick and thinking like, all right, I'm going to stay booming. But you know that the analytics drop, your views drop, your sales kind of paying out, and then but your spending doesn't. So you know, been creating this lifestyle, but don't really have the liquid enough income to maintain it. You know, with the content creating world is very fickle.
She signed that 20 off lease.
Yeah, you can be Kai Cenat one week, and then you can be fucking Cat Stacks the next. You know, so everybody time and come go. So it's like what you do when you get your money.
Cat Stacks. That's the early 2010s name.
Yeah, but she was hot for a moment. You know?
Yeah, she was the original Cardi B.
So everybody get their moment. I think she was being transparent, and that's part of her brand too. Is like transparent honesty and saying shit that you probably shouldn't say in public, but it's what it's doing inadvertently is getting her back in the news, whether it's negative news, whether she getting joked and memed or whatever. Facing your name is back in the news cycle, and that's all these people kind of care about. It's trending again, and then what you do with the trend is up to you. But her name back in the news at the end of the day, so that's an analytical.
Yeah, she had two of them for sure. She had this one, and she had the whole thing about her being jealous of her friend getting successful without her, like that. Yeah,
a lot of girls don't like her. I mean, people like you when you coming up, but then once you make it and they feel like you're supposed to stay at a certain level, them girls they turn on you quick. So she's had some moments that have you know, made people laugh at her downfall or potential downfall, and you know, I think she good. As long as people still talking about you, you gonna be good. You just have to be the villain.
Gotcha.
And I imagine that happens to a lot of like content creators where there's ups and there's downs. Where like you'll go viral for a couple weeks and shit'll be good, but 6 months later, a year later, I imagine a lot of these people. You know, I imagine she's not the only one that goes through something like
that. Gotcha. So, go ahead.
And I throw this in there too, just to, you know, it also is just a piece of evidence to show that there's value to having a partner when you're an entrepreneur and you got them waves going on. It's nice to have somebody with some consistent income in the household. I'm just saying.
She just don't want her man to be a 9-to-5 guy. He has to also be a entrepreneur that at 3 a.m. they both look at each other and say, "Hey, You answering the emails? Yeah, I'm answering emails too. Let's get on the
But
flight.
now the bar money don't stop.
There's
That's the villain.
I guess as we keep the icebreakers moving, I heard that there's been updates to the Diddy case. Have some things been dropped? I think the case ended, correct? I know y'all are probably a little bit more abreast in this than me. I tossed it to y'all.
No, I don't think it's fully ended. I think it's ending though.
Okay.
And then as it ended, the prosecutors have dropped a lot of different charges. I guess that they know it's not no chance of them sticking to focus on charges that they can maybe prove. So he's still charged with some things, but he got a lot of big things dropped: kidnapping, trafficking, arson. So the Cuddy shit, shit like that was admitted. It's basically like, we can't prove that. We gonna drop them charges and kind of focus on, this is the prosecution. Like they know what, like we don't got nothing to prove that this shit can stick. So let's just drop those and focus on what we think we can prove. Because if you just got a lot of miscellaneous charges, it just looks like you have to get a nigga. So you make your case look tighter if you kind of drop it to the quality charges that maybe we can prove. We can't prove kidnapping. These niggas getting on the stand, happy as hell that they was, or the, oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, I went and rubbed my shit all over. It was like the witnesses fucked this whole thing up because they look like victims in the beginning, but then they all started getting telling their stories. Like, yeah, I was there and it was this and I won a 10K and I was sad, but fuck it, I was coming back. Like, what? Everybody in this whole thing had the opportunity to get the fuck away from this man. He's one of the busiest dudes in the world. Like, if you wanted to get away from Diddy, you can get away from the nigga.
Well, yeah, Diddy didn't even call any witnesses. They rested their case without even calling a single witness.
Yeah, don't fuck your shit up because they ain't proved nothing.
Well, they did all their damage on the offense. The prosecution put them folks up there, and the cross examination was wicked, and a lot of them people were shown to be not good witnesses.
They discredited everybody that came up there.
And I'd have to look to see what exactly. Like I saw a lot of shit they dropped. I'd want to see exactly what they are running with, like the charges that like they decided to like go with after, because it was a lot they got dropped. So I need to see exactly what they are specifically charging them with at the end of the day after everything. And if the prosecution after everything goes down, if the prosecution dropping charges, that's still for the defense every time.
So I got some info in terms of the charges, on the clarity of the charges. So in terms of the drop charges, it was 3 racketeering predicates. So under that RICO charge, they had X amount of predicates they were trying to charge, to say that this was indeed a RICO. And so those predicates that they dropped was the attempted arson, the attempted kidnapping, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking allegations. That said, what seems to still be there, though, is the racketeering conspiracy and transfer in a Mann Act violation. That's transportation to engage in prostitution and sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion is still on the table. And then they still got some other predicates from the RICO case on the table. So they didn't drop. He still got 3 felonies, federal charges that he's going to have to go up against. But to Johnny's point, the defense didn't even call any witnesses. It was like 30 minutes versus the prosecution was up there for 29 days with over 30 witnesses. So they didn't feel like they had much to prove. So we'll see how it goes.
Gotcha. All right. Before we get political, do want to do a quick NBA roundtable. So obviously the whatchamacallits, the Thunder, my bad, the whatchamacallits, the Thunder, they won Game 7 on, was that Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. Shea got the MVP, Finals MVP, scoring title, all in the same year. Puts them in very, very rare air. The day of, we had Durant sent his ass out to Houston. The next day, Boston, they sent Drew Holiday somewhere. Then they sent Portland. They sent Chris Stapps to Atlanta. they said, fuck it, we'll blow it all up. I think my dog CJ McCollum, he got sent somewhere. Yeah, it's been a very, very busy off season, culminating with the draft tonight. Cooper went 1, VJ went 3, Dylan went 2. Who went 5? But I think that it's good for us to skip the Hornets. But yeah, Ace, he looked pissed when Utah drafted him. What has been to y'all the biggest moves of the offseason so far?
I mean, KD to the Thunder. Yeah, I guess KD getting passed around like a little thought. like to get gone.
Man, I say the biggest got to be the Celtics overall. Like they clearly hit the button to say, all right, next iteration. Like we done with this squad. So to trade Drew, to trade Porzingis, and to get unproven. Like I'm not gonna say unproven, but to get role players back that clearly haven't done certain things on the level that Boston's done. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna tank and try and go for AJ next year, or I don't know what the grand plan is here. And it's like, are they gonna? There's a rumor that Houston might take a swing at getting Jaylen Brown as well. That's gonna be interesting. You get JB, KD, but how many of them young pieces would they have to give up?
Just keep Amon. All you need to do is keep Amon. Amon and Sengun. If you can keep Amon and Sengun,
those two, you need both. Yeah, you need both.
I think you.
They say that's taking apron beats. So that's why, like.
Yeah, that's what I mean here. Shout out Steve. That's what Steve was kind of harping on. That second apron. If you don't have the ability to win it, it almost puts you at a deficit if you're going over it.
Like, yeah. And they ain't gonna have Tatum, so I ain't even mad at the Celtics for reset button on some of that stuff, especially with Tatum being hurt. They kind of get a pass for it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I guess that kind of hits the main for that. With that said, we can move on to more political things. We can start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been in the news lately on a couple different fronts. He has been fighting with Iran. Last week, I believe we talked about the bombing that did happen. America bombing Iran's 3 nuclear plants. Since then, there had been a supposed to be ceasefire. And I think that night after the ceasefire, they kind of pissed Trump off a little bit. So there's been a bit of pushback for the first time, like very, very direct pushback with Trump and Israel that has happened. As well, you have had MAGA. MAGA has kind of been, a little bit of infighting for the first time, where a lot of the guys, they've really pushed back on some of Trump and Trump's rhetoric. I guess I'll try and play a little bit of Trump talking, and from there we'll kind of get into the conversation.
Now, there was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous. I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
With the walk off. Fellas,
Yeah.
um,
He need
let's
a
talk about it.
all
We
those
we
pause moments was crazy.
it was long, it was hard. They dropped the biggest load I ever
The
seen.
load, yo, his Trump is hilarious.
Yeah, he sound like an old granddad in somebody's backyard. I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. Like
Oh
somebody's
Yeah.
old
man.
granddad.
Fellas, what is y'all thoughts on it? A Black.
I mean, it's you don't really see that, I guess, from the U.S. presidents, of them being like openly against Israel. Anything that they do, they always kind of like are complicit or enable Israel. So maybe it's about Trump having total control, or them not listening to him in the ceasefire because he's trying to be the peacemaker as well too. I don't know. I mean, it's funny just kind of hearing him talk about it, but I think if he's talking like that, that could turn the tide of people's view of Israel as well. When the president is like kind of saying that they still bombing when we told them not to.
Mhm.
So it's like he's trying to separate the influence. I mean, although we know the American influence over there and them pretty much giving Israel all the weapons that they got now, I think Trump is like on some. If I say we got a ceasefire, we got a ceasefire until I figure out what we gonna do. But
Mhm.
Israel is on their own shit. It's like, nah, we gonna keep firing at these dudes. But I don't know. Iran they ain't Gaza. They ain't the one to play with, and they done been through this before with Iran. And but it's all about the oil at the end of the day. It's always about the oil. And Trump is basically saying like, don't fuck up the oil situation. We got enough going on. You fuck with Iran and go close down that strait where all them tankers pass through 20% of the world's oil, and that's gonna raise up gas prices and a whole bunch of shit that Trump is like trying to avoid. And that's why he just announced he's meeting with Iran sometime next week. Cause he's like, no, no, no. He don't care about Gaza because he ain't got nothing to get from them. But Iran, it controls a big oil portion. So he's like, nah, we can't afford war right now. He's trying to get the economy together. That's not a good look. So Israel don't care nothing about that. They trying to flex their muscles in the Middle East because they got the most weapons that they got from us. So we'll see how it go. Like I said, I think Trump just trying to keep it cool because on some business shit.
Mhm.
Every time Iran gets mad, they shut the oil down. He's like, we don't need that right now.
Gotcha, Johnny.
Yeah, no, I think Trump, he was talking tough. That's what he do. He's a salesman. He was trying to sell the deal. But I think he got in over his head. I think Israel and Iran been going at it for a long time, way before Trump came into the picture. I think, they both kind of talked good to him, made him think he had a deal. And this gets real petty, and I think he's really understanding. Oh shit, I'm and feeling kind of played clearly. You can see by his, by the words he's choosing. He's frustrated, and he's not the first president that like has gotten in the middle of this and ended up frustrated. They ain't listened to. They went behind his back. So I think he's just getting a taste of that's real United States politics right there, getting in the Middle East and
Mhm.
messing with oil. I think he's just, the COVID shit was like, that's small potatoes. This some real, diplomatic shit that he's trying to navigate. I don't
Mhm.
think I think he's getting frustrated with it.
Gotcha, G.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I got too much else to add there. I think I think Trump overall, like I said, it's like he doesn't want to be outdone or have egg on his face. And so I think it's just him trying to save face ultimately, like, but I think it also just demonstrates like his inexperience with foreign policy. It's like this, he could have he sees his base being divided, they starting to go at each other, and I think he's trying to really figure out like, okay, how am I going to keep this together before everything crumbles while I'm in office? Because that would be like you know, right now I think he's in legacy mode. He trying to make sure that when this term is over, you can say like X, Y, and Z is attributed to him as president. And right now, the way it's looking is that his legacy might be rupturing the whole Republican Party when it's all said and done. So I think he's trying his best to save face here.
Gotcha. So I guess if there's no closing thoughts on that, we can kind of move on. Last icebreaker. How do you say his name? Mamdani. He won. There's been a lot of conversation around him winning, him beating out Cuomo, who was, endorsed by Clinton. He was endorsed by Bloomberg. He was endorsed by everybody. And they allowed the Middle Eastern, the Middle Eastern guy come in, and with the help of AOC, help of some Bernie Sanders support. We can't hear you.
I don't think he's Middle Eastern. I think he's Indian, and I think he's like Indian descent.
Okay, all right, my bad.
He's Muslim though.
All right, Muslim Asian. They allowed the Muslim Asian with the help of AOC and Bernie to
actually born in Uganda though.
He's born in Uganda, but his dad was an Indian professor, Indian Ghanaian or whatever, Ugandan or whatever you say the shit is. But his mom is Indian something and his dad is Indian something.
I bet you his wife's good as hell though.
Yeah, he was kind of on the same thing that Trump was talking about with his. I don't want to say he was anti-Israel, but he wasn't afraid to, not speak the same talking points. Everybody else when asked about Israel, they all said the same thing.
Oh yeah, like the debate.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna focus on New York, and it's basically like that pretty much won it for him because this dude kind of really came out of nowhere. Everybody thought Kumo had this in the bag. And like the last, I say 3 weeks, you started hearing about this guy, and then that debate cleaned them up. He's like they all still speaking the same Democratic shit that be making them lose, and he's just like, I'm not focused on taking a trip to Israel, and we got shit going on right here. And it's the smaller version of what Make America Great was supposed to be. It's like we're not gonna be in everybody else's business. We go focus on here. That's kind of what Trump was getting away from. But I think even with that spat against Israel, he's on that shit too. He's like, if I'm saying make America great, we the boss. You supposed to listen to me, and I don't want to be over here dealing with y'all shit anyway, because I got to deal with Elon and shit back home. So I think that's why he's trying to wrap that shit up. Like, wrap this shit up. And with the New York mayor, he's like, yo, I'm about to focus on New York. New York got its own issues right now. Like, why are y'all asking me questions about what I'm going to do about Israel?
Well, I think one of the questions was like, are you going to go to Israel and something? He's like, well, I'll fuck with the Jewish people here inside the boroughs, but like, I don't really need to go over there with these.
Why am I going there? To appease the Jewish people in New York? Are they asking that? Because they got a lot of power. That's probably their biggest populace in the U.S. is New York. So I get what they coming at, but it's like, it's a loaded question. It's like, I can focus on the Jewish people right here. Israel good without the mayor of New York over there visiting and shit.
Yeah, it just seems kind of it's kind of weird. I will say
the power and influence they have in New York.
I need you to ask the FBAs, how do they feel about an Indian by way of Uganda? Can they get the tether pass or like
make their head explode?
Hop into the FBA channel in the Discord and let me know what the guys say. I will say that there's a lot of conversation around him being a democratic socialist. I did find a very interesting, piece of content, kind of speaking to him in that. I'll push play. We can kind of converse about it a little bit.
He is a democratic socialist. To conservatives, that makes him the devil. To the rent-burdened, the uninsured, and the underpaid, it makes him a damn hope. But what is democratic socialism? And is it even possible in the capitalist capital of the world, New York City? Democratic socialism isn't communism. It's not Stalin, not gulags, not government spies in your iCloud. It's the belief that everyday people, not corporations, should control the economy that rules their lives. that democracy shouldn't stop at the voting booth. It should extend to the workplace, the hospital, the housing market. It says if we can vote for a president, why can't we vote to cap rent hikes? If we can bail out banks, why can't we bail out single mothers? If we can tax workers' paychecks, why can't we tax billionaires' yachts? Socialism has always been the boogeyman in American politics. But here's the twist. The most popular programs in America, they were built by socialists. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, FDR rolled out the New Deal. Social Security, unemployment, insurance, public works jobs, housing programs, all inspired by socialist pressure from labor unions, left-wing thinkers, and yes, democratic socialists. Let's fast forward to 2025. Let's say you're a cashier in Brownsville. Your rent went up again and your asthma meds are $200. Let's say you're a delivery driver in Queens, dodging potholes and ice, or a home health aide in the Bronx, feeding elders while skipping meals for yourself. What Zoran fights for is not fantasy. It's housing as a human right. It's free public transit. It's canceling medical debt. It's taxing the rich so the poor don't have to die quietly. They say New York is too capitalist for socialism. Look around. Capitalism gave us Whole Foods across from food pantries.
Nonetheless, that's more than enough of like commentary. Does the my I don't want to kill his name, Mamdani. I'm gonna just say that. But saying that to say, does him the push again? He's a part of like the AOC regime, the Bernie Sanders regime, like the kind of the newer version of what the Democrats are trying to evolve into to an extent. Does this mean something? Mean nothing? Does it matter? Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a good look. It's a big move, especially in a city like New York, to kind of get that nod, get that position. I mean, what I've heard from him, which I won't say is too much, but what I've heard so far, like I like a lot from him and his perspective. He got the balance. I mean, he's still a politician at the end of the day, so you don't really know niggas' true motives until they win. But so far, I mean, he seems cool. Like New York, a tough city to win in. So clearly, I think it also shows a lot of the people there have maybe moved past certain prejudice, somebody being Muslim or Middle Eastern, or New York continues to show that diversity with their mayors that they pick and stuff. Like they
Yeah,
give niggas a chance.
I don't think it mean much, honestly. New York is Gotham City, man. Like it's so many. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it Geppetto? Was that the nigga who controlled Pinocchio?
Pinocchio.
oh yeah, yeah.
Geppetto.
Geppetto, yeah.
Controlling the puppet strings. Yeah, New York, man, you got the mob, you got all these different like powerful entities, the money, it's like, so I don't think this necessarily matters because it was just a primary. It wasn't the actual mayoral race. It's just for, to choose a candidate. If anything, I think what it matters is it speaks to how bad of a shape Democrats are in, because even in a city which is like a Democratic stronghold like New York, they're losing their like old guard and they're not embracing, say, like the new wave. So I think that's what it's more a reflection of, is like, okay, Democrats are really gonna have to figure something out here in the next 2 years, because everyone is essentially fed up with the party and even, claiming to be independent now versus identify as Democrat.
Johnny.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful with socialism because, like, just like anything, back in the day, the unions they were socialists, but it's always oligarchs, even in communism, socialism. It's always people that stand to profit off, whether it's painted out to be, oh, this is good for the people, whether it's painted to be outright capitalism. There's
Mhm.
always somebody that's there to benefit, and uh, I think you just got to be careful. I think it's the Democratic response to somebody like Trump. Uh, but yeah, we just got to see. But like, I think it's still politics. I don't think it's gonna help the people no more than what's already been out there.
Gotcha. So you don't think that none of his policies will pass, and because of that, it won't help the people?
Uh,
His
I
policies that
think
he's running on, do you believe that they'll help, like a lot of like the free
I
public
have to
transport,
read.
the whole little thing with the rent control and things like that?
I'm not as familiar with his policies. I just heard of him like the past couple of days or so. But
Okay.
I'll just say, just as socialism in general, you just have to be careful with some of the policies because we see how they can be hurtful.
Okay. All right. So with that said, it's time to move into the main topic. We do have one of our guys that missed last week's episode. So I guess I do want to start with you. If there's any of the points that we hit last week that you might want to quickly give a POV on, maybe vetting, maybe I seen that you and a couple of the guys, y'all had some interesting back and forth on family influence when it comes down to picking your partner and things like that. Going to get them eggs when you out on a date, like is G, talk to us.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like,
What happened?
like, yo, that's crazy. Like, if bro, if you are literally like that, like that's the thing. Eggs,
Don't run.
like
Don't
we
run,
need
Johnny.
we need a more serious emergency. I ain't gonna lie to you, but like in my opinion, like I know there was some strong opinions about family and influence and vetting and all this other stuff, but like I'm a big believer in part of what makes marriage for men is it is that official like line that you cross to say I'm my own man and my own family now. Like I have my own responsibilities that come first before my parents. That's like how I understand marriage. Like when you get married, your main responsibility as a man is your family, your wife and kids. And so this idea that parents are, like that's like I believe in you definitely want say the other person's blessing, right? So I don't think you should just get married and their families don't know. So like I think that's like bad taste for you to as a man marry a woman and not have a conversation with her parents. I don't think that's setting you up for success. Mm-hmm. But this idea that your parents will decide for you if you actually do get married to this person or not is like nonsense, man. Because that to me the worst sort of relationships are the ones where people are feeding their parents too much information about the good, the bad, the ugly of what's going on. Parents all in the day-to-day mix. I ain't gonna lie, that might be hot, but for me, that's a big red flag. If I was single and I was talking to a young lady and she talked to her parents every day, it's a red flag for me. I'm sorry.
She can't talk to Mom Dukes every day.
Not every day. It's too much for me.
Damn.
And I say this as the
other side of it. All right,
I say this as a nigga. I'm my mom's only child, and we stay in the same city. Like I don't need to talk to my mama every day. Like,
but like mamas and daughters be like they own different little.
I think it's a red flag. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen the success. I ain't seen it. It's a red flag. I ain't seen it.
Johnny, talk to us. Is
pointing to her mama? It's a red flag, homie.
Damn. Johnny,
I'm on the opposite. Like, I appreciate like a good like.
Hey, Johnny, I'm gonna go to A Black really quick. It's something with your sound.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I mean, it depends on what the conversation is about and how long it is. Like if she talking to her mom every day and getting like emotionally drained because her mom got a lot going on and bringing a lot of negativity and energy, that's one thing. But if that's just like wholesome, short stuff, it's better than some shady friends or talking to another nigga or
Yeah, what if they just talk about like regular common topics and a mom just like
I think it's some basic shit. Like, all right,
every day.
I mean, they gonna talk to somebody every day.
What you getting married for? Like, as I said, like,
damn, wait, so your woman can't talk on the phone every day?
I need a break.
I need to know. I need to know why do you need to talk to your parents every day?
He gonna take us viral today. All right, cool.
That's when you get a break. When she talking to her parents,
I can get a break without that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't like
your lady speak to anybody every day.
Work colleagues, me.
Damn, but mama.
Why does she need to speak to every day?
I mean, every day. Right, but
old buddy from the break room, she can't talk to him every day.
Look, that shit don't matter to me. Like, honestly, like it really don't.
What about can she speak to a home girl every day?
Yeah, sure. You got home girls, you got like chats, all that type of shit. But like for me, to me, if I pull the curtain back even further, it's like I don't like grown women who still have these like seemingly codependent relationships with parents, where parents are still like taking care of their daughters to some degree. Like I don't know. I wouldn't want to be with a woman like that personally. It's just
right. But I think do you think that takes it to like the extreme of it though? Do you think that you can, or a woman could have like just whether it's her mom or her dad, like regular conversation, not specifically codependent, I'm looking for your advice conversation.
Yeah, like what do you need to talk to your parents about every day?
Okay.
Grandkids.
I mean, how that day going? And you
get that at the end of the week. You get a weekly wrap up. You don't do that every day. You get a weekly. How the week been?
I mean, that's like with your wife or your husband. Like sometimes you don't really got shit new to talk about, but you just give each other energy.
I know people that have like, well, one, the grandkids is always going to be a thing. Like I'm about to drop the kids off. That a lot of times that's an every other day occurrence. They probably have like some similar, especially if they're old.
We're changing the context though. If they got your grandkids, it's a little bit different. If you got kids and your parents are the grandparents and so forth, I'm talking about if you're single and you meet a young lady and you're dating her, assuming she don't have kids,
is marriage, G.
Assuming, but to get married, assuming there's no kids, assuming now if she got kids and she's a single mom, I can see why she's talking to her parents all the time.
What if the parents just lonely or something, or she just she there for them?
I haven't seen the use case that would make me comfortable.
I mean, I'd rather a lonely mama than some lonely nigga. Lonely coworker.
I don't know why the trade-off got to be talk to your mama or another nigga. Why does that have to be the trade-off? Like your parent or be a philanderer?
A woman go talk to somebody.
She go talk to G, nigga. What's the problem?
Man, listen. If Mom Dukes is solid, I'd much rather her talk to Mom Dukes than random friend X.
You said if Mom Dukes is solid, that's all I'm gonna say.
Especially if her friend.
But obviously, I think that we all would agree that if Mom Dukes isn't solid, and no matter who the friend is or family member or whoever, pops, mom, auntie, whoever, if they're giving bad advice and they're not solid, you're probably gonna end up going away from them, especially if they're exercising the advice or talking to them every day. But we're talking about, I imagine everybody speaking of like just on a regular side of the game. Non like emotionally draining, just like regular conversation. Mom's not into like any toxic shit. They're not like discussing in-house business or anything like that. Just like the random 20-minute, 30-minute. I don't know. The kids, you're gonna pick up the kids.
Just about the wet.
Like, kids doing.
So you keep bringing up kids. You keep bringing up kids.
I can give you other ones. There's.
Take the kids out of it. Why are we talking to parents?
There's the random, shade room gossip that's always happening. It's their favorite shows that they all are watching.
So the mama and the daughter watch the same content.
I think that 30-year-olds music. I think 30-year-olds and like 40, 50-year-olds watch a lot of the same shit.
Because like me and my uncles don't enjoy the same shit.
I think that women all watch a lot of the same shit. In my opinion, that's what I've seen. They watch a lot of the same shit inside that age demographic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, if it's date night and Shorty Mama called and she answered, it's a wrap.
It's
Yeah, like I said, it depends on how they.
It depends on how that call go. Because I would expect you to acknowledge your mom, but depending on how that call go, it's gonna tell me a lot.
My thing is, it's calls always frequent. Like, is she always interrupting something we got going on?
Yeah.
No, like, cause you got some moms that call. You can like, hey mom, I'm doing this right now. Hit you back. Cool. Then you got some moms that like, nah, we need to talk, and then go on and on and on.
Yeah, they might want you to get eggs when you about to head to the date or something, right, Johnny?
Can you pick up some eggs on the way?
Sometimes you gotta just swing by.
No, you don't. Sometimes you do not have to swing by with no eggs, yo.
Yeah, see, this is where I draw the line. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, I think that like it should be like clear boundaries, but to Johnny and
you're telling me talking to your parents every day is not extreme. Nobody else thinks that's extreme.
I think that with men it could be extreme. I don't think that like women talk to.
So you think it's a double standard
every day? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think that this is probably like one of those things. Like for example, I don't talk on the phone in general like that. But like I grew up in a house where my mother just talked on the phone all the time. My dad never talked on the phone. So like that's almost like an implicit unconscious gender role that I just grew up within. And like my girl, she'll be on the phone. I'm just never on the phone. Like so like it's a role that naturally aligns that I've always seen, in my opinion.
But who's she on the phone with?
It really depends. Like she has her friends that she talks to.
That's what I'm saying. She does. Let's not make it more like people can talk. Specifically though, you are in your 30s and you talk to your parents every day. I think it's a red flag. That's just me personally.
I think
it's extreme.
As a man, if you talk like even if yeah, because even like matter of fact, like thinking about Real talk to his dad every day. I don't think that there's I
don't talk to my mom every day. We at least probably text. It's always some form of communication. Like it might be small or big, but it ain't always like a long, drawn out phone conversation.
So this is what I'm saying. It's like talking on the phone every day is different than a text here, a text there. Like this is what I mean. Like when I say talk on the phone every day, like.
But it's like to me, I look at it all as like communication. If you're communicating with anybody every single day, like I said, I'm not like a heavy communicator, so I don't do it. But I see a lot of people that are heavy communicators, and to me, it just depends on like who that person is and what you're getting from.
Yeah, I think heavy communicators are red flags.
Okay. Okay.
that's even that's a good point too. You heavy communicators are red flags. Don't want to hear all that shit. Like,
okay. All right.
Concise, boo.
All right. So yes. All right. So it sounds like we got some opinions today. Yeah. So for you, vetting, simply talking to your mama every day is a red flag, or
that's a red flag. Yeah.
So if we were to kind of start going through some of these topics that I have lined up, these aren't going to be necessarily inside like linear form, but we're just going to hit some hot topics and talk through it, and just see what happens. So this was a bit of a lengthy part of the conversation last week. Unc got on. A couple other guys got on, and we kind of got stuck here for a little bit. Marriage as a transaction versus a commitment. Is modern marriage more about legal benefits than love? Is there who really benefits from marriage in 2025? If marriage didn't come with legal and financial benefits, would most people still do it? What's your thoughts, fellas?
Well,
let's start one at a time. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, which one want to start?
All right. So we'll just walk them all the way down. Is modern marriage more about legal benefits than love?
Yes.
No.
All right. So go ahead. I'll let you run it.
I say yes.
I think it should be, but I don't think it should start off that way. I think it should start off as about love and from love, but I think eventually it should be about business, about partnership and the finance. But I don't think you should go in fully looking for that, because I think it is important to love a person to be able to kind of even do that other side of life with too. Are you just gonna be miserable with a miserable business partner or something? Because I think marriage is supposed to be like a business.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you got two entities coming together, hopefully two incomes, and it's like, how can we make each other's quality of life better? And it helps that you got some love there too. I would think.
Right. Now you gotta care to be around that person. So when y'all say that, or the people that said that it's more about legal benefits than love. So Johnny, what would be the legal benefits that really outweigh it to where it makes that much sense to get into a marriage without love?
Oh, I don't think like I look at it kind of like BLM. I think there's an organization and a movement. I think like there is like when you go and make that commitment to God, I think that's about love. That's about like I love this person. I want to come to God. When it
But you
comes
said
to
it's
like,
more about legal benefits. So when you're saying like more about legal benefits,
I think it's a equal. It's a balance of the two. I think you gotta like you can't marry like a super irresponsible person no matter how much you like love them. If they're super irresponsible, not a good business partner, I don't think it would really work out no matter how much you love them. So I think the institution, that legal portion of it, I think you have to like you got to be mindful of that also because once you make that commitment, you sign that paperwork. There's consequences if it don't work out. So I think it has to be a little bit of both. It has to be somebody that's you could do business with, but like to go in the symbolic portion, the going in front of your family, the wedding, the commitment to God. I think that's what love is. You gotta love somebody to do that.
gotcha. All right. So G, I guess I'll ask you the same question. So what's the big legal benefits that y'all are saying outweigh love to make it more about the legal benefits that makes the legal benefits more worth it?
Yeah, so let me be clear. Like, I'm not saying you don't have a marriage without love. I'm just saying in terms of today, of why you get married, is it for the love or is it for the quote unquote like relationship or business benefits? To me, if you're looking at like why you're making that step, it's not just because you love this person deeply, it's because of the business piece. And I say that because like when Unc was saying last week, you can love somebody and not get married. Like you can live, you could do life with a partner and not go get married. So if you love somebody and want to commit to them, you don't necessarily have to be legally married. That said, I like when you are trying to grow wealth and assets, you're going to be typically more successful pooling resources together. And what the marriage union does is it just helps streamline that process of building things together. So in my opinion, because like with marriage too, you can also iron out post-nup, prenup, like you can iron out all the details. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, I get married, we build all this wealth and I lost it all to her or whatever the case. Like you can write out all these things that right. Make the marriage what you want it to be, versus if you don't, then you leave yourself open to
right. But I guess
more risk in building a life and not having those protections, in my opinion.
Right. To me, what you're walking through is like some of the detractors of like getting married, which would be the legal risks, not the like why it's legally beneficial. So again, I'm trying to understand. Like y'all said that it's more legal benefits than love. So like, what are the legal benefits that y'all are talking about?
I said,
The question was that I asked originally is modern marriage more about legal benefits than love? Y'all said legal benefits. So I'm just trying to understand what are the actual legal benefits that outweigh it to where you're willing to take this risk of, as you said, especially if you're not buttoned up with a prenup or anything like that, that you're risking it. So what are the legal benefits that kind
But
of
that's a part of the benefit is the prenup. Like you that's a benefit of you that prenup. If you are in a relationship with somebody
Wouldn't you just be more
over,
beneficial not get married then?
I don't know, but so then what type of relationship do you have with this person? Are you building anything together? Are you buying properties? Are you living together? Or are you just separated the whole time? Like that is really like the thing that
Okay,
matters
and
there.
so then, all right. So maybe now we're walking to it. Maybe. So if you are, doing all the things together, what is the legal benefit that y'all are speaking to? Again, I'm trying to understand what it is.
Like I said, when you're married, things are streamlined legally, taxes, all those things, insurance, heirs, like all those things. There are certain like are no longer things you have to go out of your way to figure out, because by default it's going to be between you and your spouse, versus like if you and your girl you and your girl are deep in love, and you be like, oh man, we got to take advantage of these interest rates, let's buy us a property. And then all of a sudden y'all are at odds with each other in 2 years.
What happens if
whose name was on the deed? What was the agreement? How are you gonna sell? Who's gonna get this? Who's gonna get that? I've seen it turn real ugly.
Right. But if both names on the not lease, but on the whatchamacallit, either way, how does that work out?
That's if, but that's not always the case. If you're married, it don't matter.
Right, but that seems like a reason why a guy wouldn't get married or would think twice about it, because of you have the option of like, if I paid and put this money down, that no matter what, this person is going to either get half or we're going to have to sell this house.
That assumes that she's not bringing nothing to the table. That assumes she's not bringing nothing to the table.
Okay, right. But if she is denying on like the paperwork as well, if she's also putting down the shit, or she kind of crazy, right? Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I think that's why, like, as a man, some of the things that could be a benefit could also be a detriment. Like if you're not careful with vetting, like where like back in the day, the marriage, the arranged marriage, you get two rich families, and I take my wealth, you gonna marry this one with her wealth, and you put it together. In today's society, if you don't vet a woman correctly, and you're a man that comes from wealth, and you marry somebody that doesn't come from wealth and get divorced, that could be a detriment. And I think that some of the same things that could benefit, as far as like when I say you can't just marry everybody you love. You could love this person, but if she's a financial risk, why would you marry her? Like, cause like it could be a detriment.
You can't confide in her. She gonna be able to testify against you in court. You better wife her up. She know all your secrets.
But not even that. She could come from a family that doesn't have financial literacy, and if you split the bank account with her, she just might blow all your money month in, month out. And like that's a detriment when it comes to like the things we're talking about.
It sounds like you keep explaining legal detriments to me,
and that's why it's important.
It seems like
fall in love with a person, because
right.
If you fall in love, and one of the things that make you fall in love with a woman is financial acumen, then you don't even gotta worry about these things. Like I personally can't even fall in love with a woman who's not good with money. So it's like the marriage. The detriments are the things that people say could be the negatives. I don't see it as such, because I wouldn't even marry a woman that would play on any or exploit any of these negatives, But like the intent is not even legal at first. The love is first, but part of the things you falling in love with is somebody's intellect and their financial and the way they spend money and the good habits that they have with money and stuff. That's one of the many things that you love about them. So you're not worried about if I combine my finances, they got bad credit. Because I know that before marriage. Like it's a lot of shit that people don't try to discover before marriage. But once you discover these things, it's like, all right, the good parts of marriage, you're gonna benefit from it. But Like I ain't even researched this shit, but because that's not my intent. Initially, it's like I need to have the legal shit together. But then once I get there, then you start paying attention to somebody's spending habits. You start asking questions about their money, what they think about this, what their family money's like, and just to make sure y'all align. What you would do if we had this amount of money, and you hear how women talk. If you got a woman saying like, let's focus on getting a house and a honeymoon, or it's certain things you can hear in conversation that let you know a woman serious about money, or is she gonna be a liability to you?
Nah, I heard this woman, she was tripping on her partner because they was if if they hit the lottery, would you take the lump sum or would you get it over 20 years? And the partner was like, I take it over 20 years. And she was like, I kind of judge Shorty off of that. She was like, she lucky we already locked in. She was like, that's some fucked up shit. And but like to what A Black saying, it's like that can be a turnoff. It can be like, and that's something like you gotta.
So wait, Johnny, you taking it over 20 years or the lump sum?
I'm taking the lump sum.
G.
I need mine today.
I need the lump sum. Give me that.
A Black.
Don't give me 20 years that bullshit. Give me my shit now.
I'm doing the lump sum because you never know what happened in 20 years. They might go bankrupt. They might decide they ain't giving you your money after year 7 or some shit.
That $1,000 payment 20 years from now is not gonna be the same $1,000 it is today. That's for sure. Give me that bread.
Give me that right now. We might not even make it 20 years. Give me that.
And I flip it myself.
Yeah. But like that's the kind of but that's those are type of like conversations or type of things you need to know how somebody thinks about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me ask you this, Q. Let me ask you this, because I'm a big believer too. Like honestly, you probably shouldn't even be thinking about getting married if you don't have any intention of trying to have kids. Like in my opinion, like
you shouldn't get married if you don't have it. That's interesting, but okay.
Like that's just like if you don't have a goal of like trying to build a family, then I would wonder like why are you getting married would be something I would wonder. I'm not saying it's it's just my personal opinion, but with that said, let's say with this same conversation of love versus benefit, like would you advise someone who was in love to just have kids and not get married, or would you? I'm
an advocate for marriage. So,
but from like a legal perspective and a business perspective, isn't it legally advantageous for married men to have children versus single men? Do you agree or disagree with that?
Is it legally advantageous? I would have to see what with the stat breakdown. Steve, you might be in here somewhere. What the stat breakdown would be for like getting custody in joint custody, whether you're married or not, when it comes down to the divorce, because that'd be the in essence the main part of this conversation to really understand. But like. Re-ask the question again. You said that would I advise somebody to get? Yes, I would advise them to get married and have kids.
Because so when we talk about love versus like legal reasons, it's like that alone. It's like we wouldn't typically advise somebody, if you love her, just have kids. You would say you should get married first, or you would advise typically to get married before the kid. So it's like,
all right, but I wouldn't like specific. I wouldn't be making that judgment call based off of like legality per se.
So like you would
break up, you're gonna like if you break up, typically, unless you have the funds to really make sure that you fight it the correct way, you're at the whim of the woman anyway, right? Like she's going to be an advantage first, no matter how you kind of look at it.
If you're married
or not married, either way, like if you're getting a divorce first, you know what I mean? Like it's going to almost be assumed. And again, like the stat is that when men fight for it, they win split or custody at a high rate. But most men don't fight for it because of the money that comes behind it. That's the same thing with single guys as well. But single meaning like not married. But yeah, like I don't know. Like my main thing when it comes down to having kids, like I would advocate for everybody to get married than have kids. But I'm not advocating it off of the idea of legality. I'm advocating it off of the idea of like the commitment and the union of a marriage and the idea of like being, like committed to this person inside like a binding way.
So it's more moral.
And it's more moral. And I think that there's more barriers to keep from the shit just breaking off in comparison to where, you know what I mean? Like you could just stop fucking with shorty and that's the end of the relationship. When you're married, it's a little bit more, like you got to have like the year separation. You got to have, there's more pieces to it to where you have to really sit and think about it. And I think that having some of those barriers allows for, just not the easy, quick walk off. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, so like I said, I would advocate for marriage, but it'd be more in the idea of like a love way than it would be a legality, even with the kid spot.
Yeah, I think Johnny's point at the beginning was like the one that tells me that if you got to choose one of the two, it's not love, because you can be deeply in love with somebody who is toxic and not mature and not all these things and know that you have no business marrying this person, even though you really like them or are in love with them. So like that's why I say to get married, it really isn't, you really aren't going over that hurdle because you love them so much. It's because
I feel like you only doing it
other
because you love them.
I disagree.
Because of it's, especially if you up as a guy, it's less advantageous for you to do it. Like being a single guy with no attachments, it's so much easier. If you don't love a lot, like it don't.
So you think life is easier solo than with a partner?
If you are a guy,
I don't agree with that.
This is probably getting into like other questions, but what I'm saying is that if you are a guy that's up, like you're doing good by yourself, I think that should the preference be yes, but should the preference be to get married? Yes. Does it make it quote unquote easier? Yes. But if we're talking in a legal sense, if you're a guy that's already doing well by yourself, there's no legal benefit to it. Like it only can take away from what you're building.
Yeah, but what would be the threshold of wealth or income for men to fit what you're talking about? Like what type of, like we're talking about 5% of men?
I mean,
that's doing just good. No,
like what do you consider up like that? Because when I hear that word, like
when I say that, meaning that
like how much money we talking?
Like you're building your 401k. Like you're gonna have retirement. You have a house. You're paying your bills with no issues. All things that you need are taken care of in general. And a woman can be an additive to it, but. And again, like I also think that this should be like the general way that you should go into a marriage if you can, where you have all your ducks in a row to where you're not literally coming in inside like a thirsty. I need this person to help me with the thing. In comparison, like I would want you to, and if you can help, that's cool. But yeah, like I think that guy getting into a legal situation where now this person gets half of like a lot of your shit, depending on like how you set up the prenup, or half of everything else that you accrue if you already have a lot of things in motion. I think that it's more beneficial, quote unquote, legally to be single. It should only be love that should take you to possibly sacrificing the empire that you're building.
I don't consider what you described as like a nigga that's up.
Oh, so I'm not. When I say up, I'm not literally talking about you got to be a millionaire.
But that's what
what I'm talking about is like you don't got to be a millionaire to not benefit. Like if you have assets,
you make good money.
But that's my question though. Like how many assets we talking though? Like just a house. So like if you have a house, there's no benefit to get married. I don't agree with that.
I think that if you have, there's no legal benefits. If you have all your ducks in a row, there's no legal benefits.
There's many like Q. You're gonna pay significantly less taxes as a married household than as a single head of household.
Yeah, but what's the risk?
But we're talking about the benefits. Everything has risk, but to say that there doesn't have any benefits,
right? But you don't
doesn't have any benefit. No, but you can't say there's no benefits.
I never used the extreme. Like we shouldn't have the conversation.
But these are the legal benefits. It would be for tax purposes.
Right.
That would be for tax purposes.
Would you say that like saving maybe a couple thousand a year?
This is why I say
possibly losing a couple $100,000 off of having to sell the house. Like I think that one of them outweighs the other one, and that's what I'm saying. I think that there are benefits, but typically, if you already have assets in line, I don't see why that would be the legal benefit outside of like the divorce and how you can have your assets taken from you would be way more detrimental than the benefit.
Like in my head, for what you're saying to apply, this would be a man making north of like had been making north of like $250 a year for like 5+ years in my head. Like if you're not in that realm of making like $250,000+ every year for multiple years in a row, like how much assets does the average person have to lose? Like you're talking about a home, maybe some retirement. I mean, like these aren't.
So what would be the overweighing
assets?
Cool, but what will be the overweighing? All right, we'll walk there. So what would be the overweighing legal benefits? Because of like, if we're saying the tax code is written to benefit married couples, by how much? How much annually is it going to be? That's going to
it depends on the money.
You're saying losing the asset in retirement. So now again, we're talking in the realm of.
I'm asking for a number. You haven't given me a number yet. I've asked you like how much money is money.
No, to me,
a house can be 250. It could be 2.5 million. Those are two different assets. So it's like what type of assets are we talking?
To me, I don't think that it has to be that high. I think that a guy, depending, like if you worked and you make $35K a year, let's just say you make $35K a year and you saved up all your money and you got yourself $175K or $200K house by yourself. For you, that asset is so much valuable because of how much time is going to take to re-get that thing. If you could possibly lose that asset that you took 10 years saving XYZ to get that 50K at 20% and whatever it's going to be, right? For that person, that asset and what it took to get that and that ownership that it entitled them, I think that matters to that guy that's making 35K. I like, to me, I don't, yeah.
But you should risk it for love.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
So think about what I'm saying. I think that there's no legal benefit to it. So if we're saying
what was the original question? What was the original question?
So understand.
Hold on, but Q, what if she has like assets too?
Exactly. This is assuming you marrying somebody who don't have nothing.
But that's not what we're having the conversation. So right now, if we're saying she's bringing shit into the table, then this is a completely different conversation. Do we disagree?
But why are we assuming she has nothing? Why are we assuming she has nothing?
We marrying broke hoes now?
That's a red flag too.
Right. So like, I just want to make sure that we let's walk through and have like singular conversations. I've been on here multiple times saying that I have a basement, so that like it wouldn't even apply to me. But my point is, in general, if you are a guy that's coming into a situation with assets and you're risking those assets, no matter what those things are, what is the like you're more beneficial if you are already stable, not risking the asset. So there's no legal benefit to it. The only reason you would be doing the thing would be off of love. Because of like, there's no benefit. If the tax benefit is, let's say, $10,000 a year, but like you're risking losing $100K in your asset, there's no real benefit there. And that's the point that I'm making.
What's the
alternative? This is before we start adding in like the variables of how much she's bringing in. All right, now this is a different
alternative. What's the benefit to the alternative?
Like I said, I don't think that if you're a guy that has stable assets, it doesn't necessarily and like you're doing great by yourself. You don't have to get married.
What's the benefit?
Like, that's literally like the whole red pill manosphere thing. If you are a guy that's already good, like there's not a lot of reason for you to get married?
What is the benefit to the alternative is my question.
The benefit to like keeping all of your assets and shit that you don't have any way that somebody can take away.
What's the benefit then to not like?
I'm telling you, like you don't have somebody that can possibly take half.
But you do.
No risk.
Who do you have that can possibly take half? You don't
baby mama. Like you could potentially.
How did your baby mama
kids?
Like if you're not having kids, or like how would your baby mother take half your house? How would she take half your assets?
If you got multiple baby mamas hitting you up for child support and you're a single man making $35K, you struggling.
Right. But this is a guy that's married or not married. Now this is a variable that is going to exist regardless. Like this isn't like an isolated only if you're divorced, the same thing's going to happen. If you are a guy that's inside a relationship, you're still going to have to pay for the child care and shit. Like I don't understand.
Divorce, you have terms. See, that's the benefit of marriage. Actually, when you get divorced, you actually have terms when you split to say legally, if you do this, I could come after you for damages. We have this agreement in place that this is what the terms are going to be, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Mm-hmm. That's a legal benefit to marriage. Even in divorce, it provides a framework for the breakup. That's a benefit.
How does that typically work for guys?
Because if you have to compare it, and if you are in a 5-year relationship with somebody and you're not married and you break up, versus if you are married with
she's not getting your house. If y'all together for 5 years, she's not getting your house.
This is what I'm saying. But if we buy the house together, Q, it's not my house anyway.
Right, but I'm talking about a guy that came in with already existing assets. You keep moving it to like we can have like set up scenarios.
You have your house. You get married. Does your wife not make any financial contributions to the mortgage or the household? Is that the situation? Not you personally, but in the hypothetical. Because if the wife contributes financially to the household, while that house is then also building equity over time, does the person living in that house making a financial contribution to that household, should they be entitled to some equity that has been gained since living in that home while they were there?
Probably, depending on how you set up your prenup.
But if you don't have, but what if you just? What if you just boo things?
All right, wait, my bad. Are you talking about somebody that's married? Are you talking about somebody that's married or not? Just making sure I understand the scenario.
You two single people. The man is single. He's got his own home. Got his own home.
The answer is no. 5 years. She she don't pay some bills. Hell no.
You didn't get rained on, Shorty. Get out of here.
Hell no. Wait, you think that like you already had a house and she paid for a couple bills monthly, that she should get some equity in the house on the move out at 5 years?
Hey, look, this is why I think an argument could be made. I don't know. Listen, I'm saying we're making hypotheticals up, but like if somebody lives somewhere for X amount of time, this is like that Drea and what's this nigga name? Tyrod Taylor. Did you hear about Drea and Tyrod Taylor where she was still staying in this nigga's house? And she wouldn't leave, and she claimed it was her house because she spent XYZ on the renovation. Did y'all hear about this?
Nah, but it sounded like she invested inside the house. I think that's a different conversation there.
But it's not though, because it wasn't her home. This is what I'm saying. Women, all right, if a woman moves into your house, she gonna let you keep the shit decorated how you had it, or is she gonna come in and
but she can do
all these different things and et cetera, make the house a home.
Shorty, you can take all that.
But like I don't really get what you're saying. Like, if rent, like you buying a couple things around the house does not mean that you get a piece of the equity in the house.
How long? But so cute. If you bought a house and then in a year got married and you've been in a home for 6 years and she's been in it 5, she don't deserve any equity.
Say it again.
You bought a home, you had it for a year.
Before you
bought a home, you had it for a year.
Yeah.
You find a friend, they move in, you start shacking up at your place.
Okay.
They're not living there for free. They're paying you something for whatever.
Okay.
Y'all are doing life together, whatever you call it. Y'all are deeply in love.
Okay.
And then you break up in 5 years.
Okay.
That person's been there for 5 of the 6 years, contributing.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's 50-50, 30-40, or but they're making a contribution for 5 out of 6 years.
Are you saying that they should get some of equity in
I'm asking, do you feel like they wouldn't deserve any equity? That's basically like your girl would be your tenant, basically.
Yeah, that's a lease.
You're saying that she's helping pitch in towards like some bills?
That's what I'm saying. Your girl is your tenant. Your girl is your tenant, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
You can simplify it like that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where we disagree.
Right. So I'm just making sure that I understand. You're saying that you can have a house prior to meeting.
I wouldn't let her move in if we weren't married. Personally, this is partly for these reasons.
All right. So if we're just giving the hypothetical that you walk down though. You don't know her. You meet her. You already have a house. Now y'all dated for a year. She move in, and she's putting like, let's just say like $300 towards your shit around the house a month. This goes on for the next 3 to 4 years. Y'all break up.
But is she taking care of the house too? Is she just paying me and not cleaning, not cooking,
whatever she's doing? Whatever she's doing, like she's just being woman.
Is she playing that role of women in the home?
Again, let's get to the end of the question so you can answer it. So upon breakup, you now owe her what from the house inside your scenario? No, not married. Y'all just long-term girlfriend, boyfriend for 3 years. You already had your house prior to her. What do you owe her? Like you got to sell your house to give her equity? Like I'm trying to understand.
No, that's what I'm saying. Technically, I wouldn't owe her anything.
So, but it sounded like you was making an argument for this. So I'm trying to understand what do you think that you should owe her, because you're saying that like we're wrong for not saying that we would give her anything.
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is I don't agree.
Yeah,
all right. So what do you agree?
I don't agree in that. I don't agree in that. If like this is why like marriage is marriage, and why you either get married or you're single, and there is no such thing to me as girlfriend and boyfriend. It's married and single, because if you're doing life together and you're doing all this planning and so forth,
mm-hmm.
and you're contributing to the same home, like what? So tell me why a wife would deserve that but not your girl.
Because of the commitment.
Or do you not even think the wife would deserve the equity either? Do you think that too?
No, I can see.
The only difference is you signed a piece of paper and you didn't. That's the only thing that changes.
That's the commitment. That's the legal binding contract. And to me, like the only reason why, because of. But going to my point.
But you hear my question though, right?
I'm about to go. Let me make sure I answer it directly. So that go ahead.
The woman is exactly the same.
Right.
The scenarios are exactly the same.
Right.
The only difference is in one scenario,
you're
they
married.
Technically signed a document to say that they're married. In the other scenario, they didn't. But the lifestyle, the contributions, everything is exactly the same.
Right. And this is why, in my opinion, I think that in that scenario, because we just based this off of like the original statement, I think that a guy would be more incentivized not to get married. And the only reason that you would get married would be because of you love her so much and that you're willing to possibly have to forego some of those assets. I.e., this house that if I just didn't get married, we in the same exact situation, you don't get shit. If we're married, now we talking about how much equity do I owe you, or like how like we're trying to figure a thing out. And I think that to me, the only reason you would do that, because of it's only to your detriment to do it, would be it should be because of somebody that you fuck with. If you don't fuck with them, then you're just fucking yourself both ways.
So it's just a leak. So even though the only thing that would make that woman worthy of deserving something is because she signed something, not her contribution, her value, any of that stuff. It's just a technicality of her signing something.
Yeah,
it's because of her commitment to me.
Yeah,
but so
that's the only reason. Jesus Christ, the only reason you go to.
That's what marriage is. Like, it's a legal binding contract and commitment.
So you do need marriage to love your partner and treat them to a certain like equity and be equitable. Like without marriage, you wouldn't be equitable with a partner, is what you're saying essentially.
No, I think that
it is.
No, so I can. Not at all. I didn't at all. So what I did say is that on a breakup, what you are entitled to would be different. I never talked. We didn't even speak about like the love that you have within the relationship and what they're in, like what you deserve during a relationship. Like these are like completely different things. I don't think that one even like.
But just for you, why would the breakup? So if she was the same exact person, why would you treat her any less in the breakup just because she didn't sign the piece of paper? And from your perspective.
And when you're saying treat, meaning like she would be entitled to equity in a house.
What I'm saying, like you said, that if she was married,
one is legally binding and one's not.
But I'm
so
asking
like,
you. I'm asking you though. I'm just asking you your personal opinion, not what you would legally have to do. What you feel like you would do just personally, like, and if what you would do personally is just based off what the law would require, then that's the answer. But I'm asking you personally if that woman is the same.
I keep saying though. So I'm not giving somebody that I'm not legally binded to that I already had assets to anything prior.
In your case, you need marriage in order to so like in terms of relationships, if you were in a relationship with a woman, if you're not married to her, even if you were with her for a long period of time, you would treat that breakup a lot differently than if you were married, correct?
Yes.
And so that means that there is a difference between getting married and not getting married, right?
Yeah. So did you think that was what I was arguing?
Because it sounds like to me,
I'm saying that there's a huge difference in between not being married and being married. That's what I keep pointing out.
But what I'm saying is that if you are getting married, right?
Mm-hmm.
To like you have the same, like you're in a relationship, the same exact relationship with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the fact that she signed something technically versus not matter that much to you personally was my question then. Like I'm asking like you personally.
I keep saying like it doesn't matter unless we're talking about splitting assets on a breakup. That's the only time.
But that's like like everything's the same and then you break up. So that's what I'm saying. You live together. You had every one.
But all right. So then it goes just like I don't know. Like we keep circling the wagon. It's because one's legally binding.
And I'm asking why does, because like Unc, for example, was saying you don't need a legally binding agreement to love someone, treat them a certain way.
I agree.
Do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z.
I agree.
So you basically, so what it sounds like is the only time you need a legal binding agreement is to protect you when you break up.
Yes.
The only reason you need a legal binding like that for a woman, I guess that's a benefit.
Why is that only for a woman? Like, help me understand why that's only for a woman.
Like so
as a man, the prenup is protected.
As a guy, and Johnny, I'll throw to you because me and G been having a one-on-one for a second. As a guy, if I'm coming in with assets, then it wouldn't be protecting me on the breakup. I would be the one being hurt. If I'm a woman, especially if we're just like taking this inside like the traditional.
That's assuming your assets don't grow.
Cool. And again, we're just using this as like there's a bunch of different variables that we can change in the scenario. But if I'm looking at generally speaking, like what a traditional relationship is, where a man comes in, he has money, assets. Woman, she stops working, she takes care of the kids, household. The reason why even alimony and shit like that exists is to protect the woman. None of these none of the legal part is set up to protect the man, especially inside a traditional sense where he's bringing more to the table. Like it's not set up that way. It's set up to protect the woman.
But that's why we get prenups.
Right. I'm a prenup advocate. So like I don't disagree there, but as we're painting the scenario, what you've laid out so far. Like
no man with assets, no matter how deeply in love he is, would get married without a prenup.
That's a lie. It's mad niggas do it. We just seen Travis Hunter do it. Like I think that most men don't even like attempt to really go through the conversation and walk through the whole thing. That's his own different conversation. But like you see over and over and over, even high profile niggas don't get the prenup. It'd be kind of wild, actually.
All right, they must be athletes. Because ain't no real, that's what I'm saying. And athletes and that's the other thing too. Like, if we being honest, like just because athletes have checks don't mean they have assets. The average athlete goes broke in XYZ years. So it's like,
I don't think the average nigga getting prenups either.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because the average nigga don't have much to lose. Average nigga don't have much to lose. Average nigga don't even have his, like, the average nigga don't have much to lose.
Approximately 15% of people get prenups. Like it's not a high percentage.
But what I would say to answer G question as far as like the difference, like I can love you like to the end of the world and back, to the moon and back. I can love you, but if we're not married, there's either something that like there's a reason I didn't ask you, or I asked you and you said no, which is even worse. But either way, there's no commitment. And,
hold on, Johnny, you hanging around after she say no?
No, but I'm not. But I'm saying, but either way, it shows a lack of commitment.
Yeah.
Like, and so either I didn't ask you or you didn't want to be committed to me. Either way, on the breakup, no matter how much I love you, there was a lack of commitment there. We could do everything together, but we're not committed. That's the whole friends with benefits and people, you can do the thing and you can like what they call you can go through the motions, but it don't necessarily mean that it's real like commitment there. Yeah, you can go and do the thing over and over and over, but if we didn't do that commitment, we didn't sign that paper, then you just gotta take your clothes and the couch and you just gotta roll. Like
this is why I keep saying that. It seems like you have to fuck with that person at a higher level. Like it has to be more love because of, in my opinion, like as Johnny just like outlined it doesn't make sense any other way.
Nah, because the way we having this conversation, at the end of the day, like we said, if you got all, like at the end of the day, Q, if you really felt your assets were that much a risk, you wouldn't marry this person. No matter how much you love them. I'm sorry.
Hey, hold on, G. So G, hold on.
I don't think that's the case.
Hold on, G. So that means you can get enough money to where you can't fall in love?
No, I didn't say that.
Basically, you said if your assets get to a certain point, then there's no way that you find yourself to love anybody enough to commit to them.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You said if assets like at risk, if you feel like your assets are at risk, you wouldn't marry that person.
If you, Johnny, was dating this woman and you felt like if you marry her, all of your assets were at risk, I don't think you would be taking that step forward.
But if Johnny was up 100 million, no matter what, if he marries her, there's a way that his assets will be at risk. And future earnings, or future earnings.
I don't know niggas that's 100 million up. That's not
I'm up 150K.
We keep seeing 100 million up. Divorces that end inside niggas getting half.
But the
women also like it's not like they're not making off really good.
They do shit to fuck up their own prenup. That's the thing though. So it's like if you write a prenup and you break your own rules, like you the dummy.
Right. I guess what like you keep using like terms like I don't know somebody or people over 500 million or whatever that don't have a prenup, but we keep seeing people over 500 million. The majority of them in divorces, they get fucked.
But
so I don't see how like
so like Bezos got fucked, right? Bezos got fucked, right?
Whose wife became the richest woman in the world?
It was Bezos.
Like,
but is he really fucked?
No, he lost half his money.
So the fuck what? Like
all right, so
is Bezos really?
Like, I'm trying to understand what your point is. Like he lost 500. Like he lost it. He lost half his empire, half his money.
And what is he? So now what? He homeless? He can't eat? Q?
No, but why? Like with Jeff Bezos, why would we ever use that as like the term in comparison to saying like these guys still lose a bunch of their assets? Because that's what the conversation was.
But how much did his assets grow when he was with his wife?
I don't know. But
That's why he lost. That's why you lose. So that's like my point is saying is like if I have an asset today, the whole point of it being an asset is that it's going to continue to grow in wealth or grow in value.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever my assets are worth today, I would hope that they're worth more in XYZ years. So you're not going to be like, and on top of that, like in theory, part of why you get married is to grow the asset pool. Like that's part of why you do it, so that you can streamline growing those assets in a way that if you're single, it's not as easy to do.
Possibly depend. Like if both people are working, then yes. All right, I guess we've hey Black. I don't know if you're still there. We've argued this one to death. But nonetheless, I guess
love is love, fellas.
Yeah, I'm here. I was letting y'all get it out.
yeah. No, I'll let you add the bow on the end of this one right here.
And this is about the
it's kind of crazy. The question still really is the marrying for love or legal benefits. That's what
I think. I mean, it just has to depends on what you value. I think you can do both, but I think it's important to have the love aspect there, but not blind love. You also don't want to be marrying anybody who is in crazy debt or something, and it's like, well, I love her, so she's all right. 300 credit score and 200,000 in debt, and still going shopping every weekend. You know, it's all good. I love her. So you still gotta be smart at the end of the day, but I think you can do both. I think you can find somebody you love, and it's not the worst financially off either. I don't gotta be a millionaire, but it shouldn't be like this terrible bad habits.
Johnny,
I got one. Like, and fellas, if you got assets, don't marry no goddamn liability, bro. Marry somebody who's gonna help, like, increase your thing. Marry somebody that might have some a good background, and then that way, if there is a split, it ain't like you ain't gotta feel the type of way because she also brought. But if you carry somebody the whole time and then they split and they take half, I can understand.
Damn, so you advocating against traditional marriages right now?
Yeah, absolutely. They talking about taking half. You better bring half. You better bring two legs to the table if you gonna take it. Goddamn it. Yeah, we
bring two legs to the table. All right,
bring
Johnny.
2 legs. I got 2 legs. You bring 2 legs. We got a table.
Modern Johnny. Kevin Sam is rolling over in his grave, man. Nah. So this leads
Kevin Samuels wouldn't want you to lose your goddamn fortune.
Maybe.
That's what he wouldn't.
Kevin Samuels had some really interesting nuanced points. So Johnny, we'll send this one over to you first. The rise of intentional singleness. I don't know if you actually fit in this, if you're still a part of the warrior class or not. But
what happened with the bonds? I'm like,
are more successful men opting to remain single? What's your thought, Johnny?
well, I mean, definitely. And that's just not a United States thing. It's a global thing. Like even in like countries like Japan, a lot of the Asian countries, you see that this is
niggas ain't wanting wives no more.
And epidemic. And I can't speak on why it might be going on in some of them countries, but in some of those countries, but it's definitely a thing going on here. And you can see just like I think feminism, the rise of feminism is going to be a natural decline in motherfuckers wanting to get married. It's a lot of independent. I think that's a natural thing that happens when you got a lot of independent women that don't need men, and dilution of the nuclear family, you're gonna see a lot of marriage. You know, a lot of people not getting married, and I can't necessarily say there's one thing to it, but it's definitely a thing, especially here in America. There's a lot of people that are choosing not to put those assets at risk and not to necessarily do it just without the love. I mean, I think there's people that be in love, and there's always the Travis Hunters of the world, but you hear the backlash that come with Travis Hunter. He just went off of love. You know, he was in love with that girl. He wanted to marry her, but you see what kind of backlash came with a decision he made. And so, of course, the next person not gonna make the same decision. He gonna listen to what everybody else said. So it's a cultural thing. So
You said it's a cultural thing.
as far as like men, like more successful men choosing to stay single, yeah, it's a culture. So I think that the way our culture, the modern society, the rising feminists, you see a lot of men that are going to just opt out. A lot of women are opting out too. It's not just on men choosing. A lot of women are choosing they don't necessarily need to be in the patriarchy or whatever. So it's a cultural thing. So
G.
I think it's like why are men, what was it? Why are men staying single?
Are more successful people opting to remain single?
I don't know if more successful people are opting to remain single. I think more people in general are single. I tend to see successful people paired up. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I tend to see more quote unquote successful people who are in unions or some sort than those that are not. That said, though, I do think that there is like a clear trend in people like not even getting married. Like, it's one thing to get married and divorced, but like not even having been married, period. Like just never married is another thing. And I think that there are more people in that boat of just never married than in years past. And why that is, I think it's a lot of reasons why, but I don't think that successful, again, like that's why I say like it's almost like a it's like it was misbranded as such a thing, because why, if marriage is so risky, why do successful people do it at a higher clip than those with less?
Oh, I don't have it. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's something to think about. Like, if with the marriage being so risky, but when we look at people who actually have assets, who actually have success,
I think
we tend to see them
goes to what you said
embracing
about
marriage,
foundation.
not walking away from it.
That's a couple things. I think, well, part of the beginning part of your statement denotes the answer, which would be that a lot of like successful people end up being paired up inside unions because of, I think that honestly, it's more of a bit of a status symbol than it is like a direct legal benefit. Like the rooms that you're into, the tables that you're able to sit at, the events you're able to attend, especially once you get into like the 35, 40, 50 and up, a lot more of those things start to accompany the wife, the family. When you start speaking about a lot of like the C-suite jobs, you hear people talk about like if they're like they lose interest if they don't know that you're married, or if you don't have a family, if they can't sit down with your wife, and you know what I mean, like these things do start to hold weight in comparison to the Bruce Wayne bachelor that's just running around trying to, you know, who knows what niggas is doing at the party. So that would be my answer to it. Like, I think that it's the status symbol that makes more sense to them inside the rooms that they're in, even though like one could say that it's possibly legally more detrimental.
So I'm saying, so rich people aren't marrying for legal benefit or love; they're marrying for cultural,
I think
societal.
status. Yeah, that's like trophy wife. I don't think you even imply that trophy wife even love a nigga. She just look good on his arm. Matter of fact, that's part of like a Kevin Samuels talking point. Why he used to go with the escorts and shit to the little events and shit. That's what he said. Like,
Yo, man, Kevin Samuels, man.
I'm just saying that's what the man said. A Black, talk to us. All right, I think A Black is busy doing A Black things. All right, so I'll keep walking it down. It says, does Johnny, again, you are our single friend on the panel. Does staying single mean that you failed at relationships, or you just outgrown them?
I mean, to a certain extent, it means you failed. For sure. Like, I mean, duh. Like, I mean, like, I mean, I ain't gonna walk. Yeah, like, yeah, it be tough out here. Like, yeah, I mean, cause the goal, like, I don't ever like get with a chick and like really be locked in with her and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just do this for 2 years and be out.
Yeah.
Like, the goal usually be like, yeah, I want to see, but it always be something. Usually me, but yeah, it's obviously you fucked up somewhere.
Johnny, I'll allow you to respond to John. To Steve right here.
He say what? Oh, just pop out with the money and get married, man. Them niggas ain't done a good job of convincing me tonight.
Gee, you got to do well. I'm
no. The only reason is because we framed it under love and legality. Like, at the end of the day,
I'm a marriage advocate.
I would argue that these niggas are successful in large part because they got married. That, like, a lot of the times when, like, with Bezos specifically, his wife Mackenzie was a integral part of Amazon and its early success. So, and that's not uncommon with men who find success. Like, oftentimes, like, especially these entrepreneurs, like we were talking about with B. Simone, like, I was serious. Like, it's very beneficial if you're an entrepreneur to have some type of steadiness in the household so that you can do the things necessary to make the sacrifices for the bigger picture. And so, but that aside, like with the relationships being single failing, I think there are some people who are single who actually have options and literally don't want to be in long-term situations. Like, they don't like commitment. They don't like long-term things. Like, I know a couple of dudes that they're not single because
a failure at relationships, though. Like, you can,
not
like,
necessarily. It's not a failure if you don't try. So it's like if I'm not even trying to be in one, I think it's hard to say that you're a failure. Now, there are others who are single, but because they get rejected all the time. Now, those people are failures. The folks who yeah, you don't want what you don't have what you want. That's what makes you a failure.
Well, a lot of niggas don't accept. Well, women too. Women do it more than dudes. But a lot of times, motherfuckers will have something, and it's the grass is greener. You know, you'll have, chopped liver on your plate, and you got something to eat. But you'll see them niggas got Burger King across the street, and you want to go and get some more food. But and same with women. A lot of times, women have dudes that be in love with them, want to do that, but they so busy chasing the baller and stuff. A lot of times, people don't. I don't know if they don't want to settle, but there's a lot of time people can. Yeah, you might have to settle for that.
Gotcha. So, Johnny, so in essence, what you're saying is that you've had chopped liver and you've seen Burger King.
Hey, man, did the chopped liver? Hey, was it some gravy and onions on that liver? Or what?
Yeah,
did they at least do it right?
I don't like the onions.
Bro, like, you could at least went and got like some Popeyes. Like, why the Burger King?
Man, I was thinking about my personal experience. And I was just thinking about that. And that was a very, POV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we continue walking, we gonna bring Steve along for the ride. Steve, what's going on, brother?
Hey yo, what's good?
Not
What
much.
up,
Not
Steve?
Hey man, y'all need to go ahead clip that G segment up. He said if you got a good relationship with your parents, that's a red flag. He said
Oh wow.
you getting cut from the
views right there. We need that, G.
you getting cut from the roster, man. We finna turn you to the next Black Man of Spirit, head honcho,
So you
man. We
talk
gonna
to
I'm
your
clip
not
that.
worthy.
every
I'm not
day.
worthy.
We
Red
gonna
flag.
we gonna clip that one out of
Look,
context.
Mama called again.
That shit was funny, man.
What's your thoughts so far on the conversation?
I mean, it's a complex situation.
Mhm.
I think the part I really wanted to hit on was the incentive. Like historically, what's the incentive been to get married? Like obviously for the man, it kind of have stayed the same. It's like you want to get a woman, you want to get married, but I think the woman's position in society has changed so
Mhm.
much,
Yeah.
and now you starting to see a conflict in why like people say, well, I don't see people getting married as much, and it's because like you don't have to get married to be afforded like a certain level of rights no more. So I
Right.
think that's why you see some fall off in these numbers, or why people, because you got legal standing as a woman now without being married or whatever the case may be. But
Mhm.
to G point, a lot of studies do show that men are the ones who financially benefit from marriages, because like when you get to certain levels, people don't take you seriously if you don't have nothing to lose. Like that's just like, I don't know why, but in those certain circles, those are the only people that's taken like seriously. So
Like Diddy.
there's like a social pressure for
Yeah.
certain groups of people to get married, and it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Successful people tend to get married because that it's a higher level of social pressure on them for them to like do that thing, and the lower you go socioeconomically, there's not that same societal pressure on you to be married.
Right. Nah. Yeah. It starts to devolve into degeneracy. No, I agree, and that's why I said like I think we was arguing like a very nuanced, specific point, but I know that I do agree and believe in the same when it comes down to a just the status symbol of what marriage is, and b especially if you do choose the right woman, she's only going to elevate you, in my opinion. And that's whether like we speaking inside the traditional sense or inside like the modern sense. Just like you said, like the yeah, just a really good partner, generally speaking, is going to help elevate you inside multiple different ways. Um,
I just think like obviously you got to have an ability to like have discernment. Like a lot of people,
mhm.
we get so caught up on like the superficial, like the instant gratification. Like what we see is what we like, and that's how you end up with like everybody say, well, I went out here and I got married or I got with somebody and it didn't work out. Yeah, because you ignored all the red flags because
Right.
they look good or whatever the case may be. The hoes is fun for a period of time. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But like too many times people think that they confuse that like or lust or whatever with them loving that person, and then they screwed.
Yeah, and even that fun with the hose, it's a dangerous. It's like when you get on drop zone right before you about to go down a roller coaster, and then like it's like and it's that adrenaline rush, but like
Johnny's still on the ride. Johnny's still on the ride, man.
right, Johnny never gonna give up the ride. Tell him, Johnny, warrior class for life.
Nah, bro, they better go to World War III. I'm trying to
Are you trying to lock
stop
it
it
down
like
now,
that.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm in my fourth season right now. Like I'm in like on the next station. I'm like on my fourth season. Yeah, I'm locked in.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I'm
So you
telling
about to
nobody.
so
Yeah.
you about to pop out soon with a all right. I ain't mad at it, Johnny. I ain't mad at it. I I,
You ain't got,
I knew
yeah,
my
I might pop out with
I knew
whatever,
even short niggas grow sometimes.
but
That's good. I like that.
Hey, I
Yeah.
also want to say, hey man, Kofi and Chuck better stay up out that chat with that disrespect, man. That's all. That's all I gotta say, man.
Um,
On the
listen,
Discord.
I'm be honest. I do not engage inside any of them other chats besides for the sports one. Every once in a while, I'll just look in there, and then I do one of these real quick, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of
Hey,
everybody shooting at
if you say
everybody.
anything about a Democrat in the chat, Kofi put the coon emoji on you. It's like, nigga, I said something bad about Barack Obama and I get the coon emoji? Come on,
Listen,
man.
I can only but imagine. I know that the way the guys engage in the Discord, I personally don't really have like too much interest because it ain't gonna, no matter who you talking to, if y'all got a difference of opinion, it's gonna be some names called, it's gonna be some you disingenuouses, it's gonna be like so many of these like character shots that I just be trying to discuss ideas.
Me too, man. Me too, man.
I ain't really on time into like trying
G
internet
be trying to
beef and threats and shit.
G be
Nah.
on track. G the only one who you can really talk in there with. It actually has some discussion. But
Okay.
then G say the wrong thing, that might throw the coon emoji up under
No,
him.
no, I get called everything but a child of God in that chat, man. You know,
G get it from all the sides. It
all
don't matter.
sides, all
We'll call
sides.
you out your name too, though. Don't.
Mm. What you saying? G ain't innocent.
Yeah, he got the
All right.
innocent face.
All right.
He
So
got. I will say this: it be a lot of good ideas on both sides in the chat. I think everybody do come and like it be some back and forth, but I
bro,
think we all got the same
I'm gonna be
point.
honest. Y'all niggas like talking about like FBA and Pan African every day. I ain't like it don't like inform my life. I live in North Carolina. It ain't that many
Yeah,
Africans around here. Like, they ain't around
Oh,
like that.
and then the ones that's in Charlotte, they all Ethiopian.
Yeah, I don't run into these niggas at all. Like when I walk outside,
only
I
had
don't
that
see nothing
issue
but
one time.
like real regular black people. What I look like getting on my phone in a chat to discuss shit that ain't got shit to do with me. But going on, trying to stay on topic a little bit. We did bring up the words Kevin Samuels. I'll throw a couple of them that kind of sits inside a little bit of his pocket. Is the high value man expected to avoid marriage? We hear a lot of like the red pill talking points that kind of speak to the idea that marriage in general does not benefit the modern man. The modern woman is unmarriageable, untenable. Yeah, like it's so many different versions of it. You can go down to divorce talking points. You can go down to the child divorce, child support, the alimony talking points. Johnny, is this why you're still single? High value man, you're avoiding because of
Oh no, this ain't got nothing to do with me, but
nothing to do with you. Okay.
like I mean, we'll talk about it, but I'm my own person. But I
Okay.
think there is a spotlight or a microscope on the high value man when he gets married, i.e. the Travis Hunter. And we don't know their relationship. We don't know nothing about, their relationships, a lot of stuff online about their relationship, but there's a lot of people trying to tell that young man what he should and shouldn't do
Come on,
when it
Travis
comes,
Hunter.
yeah, Travis Hunter, when it comes to getting married. And there's a lot of opinions online. That was a young man that was in love, supposedly. He loved that girl. He wanted to get married. And there's a lot of people that had opinions on it. So I think
What
there
you think
is
I'm getting
something
married
that
with no
comes.
prenup?
I ain't gonna joke. I ain't gonna make no joke. But
Okay, no, it's not.
I mean,
Okay.
you say what?
No, you said you ain't gonna make no joke because it's not a laughing matter. I'm guessing.
No, it ain't that. I mean, we can talk, but I mean, if you trust that person, if you've been through the seasons, I guess go ahead. It ain't my money that's on the line, so I mean, it's like go ahead.
Okay,
Like,
so as a high value man, were you bringing up that point to say that he shouldn't have or should have? I'm trying to understand.
got married. I'm not even saying. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people that said he shouldn't have married that woman, but like society, who basically told him he shouldn't have got married, and like,
What is your opinion on it? I guess I'm trying to understand.
I think he should go for it. Like, fuck it. Like, if you like her, you in love with her.
All right,
Fuck
so in essence, so what you're saying is that high value men should get married, and they shouldn't avoid it, even if she make you wait outside while she drink tequila at a house party.
See.
But no, that's what she said.
But you know, technically, Kevin Samuels would say he would exclude athletes and entertainers from the high value man conversation. He would exclude.
Yeah, they didn't have to work for it, but
yeah.
Okay.
But like, I think that's the biggest issue with him getting married, honestly, is the fact that he's 22 more than anything else. Like, it really ain't about the fact of who he married. It's like you just turned 22 and you haven't even got to that NFL pussy yet. Like, you might want to relax a little bit. Let's like see what the world's about to throw at you here as a NFL, top draft pick.
So
is that why he should wait for NFL pussy?
I think as a 22-year-old young man who's walking into, millions of dollars, NFL.
He's advocating for oat sowing.
I think he needed to wait a little. Like, I don't even say he needed to wait till his 30s, but let him get a few years in the league before he locked that down. Because 22, fresh out of school.
What about love?
Nah, not at 22.
I'm cracking a few Dreas before I get married, man. Fuck what y'all talking about.
Because it's like, if we being real, if he was waiting outside the club for her to finish that tequila, he ain't really seen one of them ones yet.
Yeah.
And
but see, here's the problem. The problem is they be really like catching these young boys.
Bro, love it. I'm sorry. Love, your flesh does not care about love, brother. Your flesh does not care about that love, brother.
When it's real love, y'all don't like love no more.
The flesh is weak.
Talking about getting married for love.
But that logic is better.
The flesh is weak, Johnny.
I'm just saying, but as an unmarried man, like, niggas be talking about love, and a nigga be in love, and y'all be like, oh, he shouldn't have did that. Like,
wait, what? Say it again.
We were just talking about you should get married for love. Like love is why you should get married. We were just talking about
again. Understand, because my point is super nuanced. Should you just get married for love? No, not necessarily. Like, there's so many different nuances to it, right? But if you choose to, if you're Travis Hunter, you better be in love, because of legally, you can only get fucked in this scenario.
But if he's in love, then why do we care? As the public.
All right, so you just added a variable that didn't engage inside the conversation. Like, whether we care because like he like, this is public fodder and it's an entertaining conversation that, like, we can extrapolate for like a bunch of different, scenarios. That's why we would quote unquote care. But as we're talking about the conversation, like him as like the ideal like person, I think that only reason he should marry would be, let me make sure I'm framing this right. Like the only reason, I guess it just is as simple as that. Because he has no benefit to marrying this woman that I don't see what she brings value-wise, it seems like the only reason that he should think to actually sacrifice some of these assets that he's about to accrue is that he really likes this person. If he doesn't really, really like this person, really love this person, like, it's a double whammy. Like, he's fucked on both sides. Because
if he loves her, but if he loves her, is it worth losing the assets? If he really loves her,
that's his cost risk. As this guy that's coming in with all this shit, that's what he's risking. If you love her enough, and this is the commitment that she's requiring to stay with her, then that's your decision to make.
So love isn't enough. I'm just fucking with you.
I definitely don't think niggas should just get married off the strength of love. If you have a bunch of shit to risk.
No, man, I got married what I would consider young, and I wouldn't encourage 22-year-olds to get married. Just generally speaking. Like, you got to be extraordinarily mature. Like, And maybe he is. You know, they say he's like mad chill, doesn't party, goes fishing. But I don't know. I feel like he about to see a different life.
That nigga don't like that.
Say what?
Them streams that he you know, he be streaming and shit.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Anytime I see them clip the stream, I can't say that he look like the most mature nigga.
He do be doing that goofy shit.
Yeah,
no, but he's definitely goofy. But when I say mature, he's not, like I said, he's not
you're not chasing box.
Yeah, like the fact that he actually took the lady serious as he did through college and got married speaks to some of his maturity. If we being honest, like that's not the average mindset of a 22-year-old number 2 pick in the draft.
I don't know if it. I think it's a different conversation. I don't know if it speaks to his maturity.
The man in love.
I think that like a lot more of it speaks to
love is love.
Like, I don't think that he traditionally got bitches per se, and because of that, like I'm trying to think of like the proper word that I'm thinking of, but
he always been Travis Hunter though. He always been Travis Hunter.
like act like he wasn't he wasn't on the internet in high school as like the next Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he's always been Travis Hunter.
And he always like oh, okay. Okay.
I feel you, man. But I've seen too many other names.
Like for a while, like if you didn't, if he just went outside, he was gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
And that, like from a child, I'm sure. Like you could just walk up. Like eventually, he got athletic enough, so he got enough attention. But that don't mean that a lot of that schism didn't like stick with him. But yeah, to each his own.
That man got
all I'm saying is like we all know like the way a guy that looked like he's like if you, for lack of better words, if you got females for like at an early enough time or a consistent enough rate, there's certain ways that you move in certain scenarios that I would say that I don't know him to move inside.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. All right, fellas, let's hop over into this prenup conversation. Prenups, divorce rates, and the fear of loss. Are prenups a necessity or a sign you don't trust your partner? What's your thoughts, fellas?
I think we got to put a number on like at what threshold of assets or money is a prenup actually like worth the consideration? Like I don't know if you like, for example, if you work, you know,
go ahead, keep on.
I don't know if the average, you know, median African American male earner should like spend time worried about a prenup. Like if we're looking at like the median earner asset class for black men.
I think it's just like simply what you have going into it. Like if you have things with inheritances or assets in general, I think that would be a consideration for sure. But outside of that, I don't think like, walking into it outside of that, most people don't. And then even most people in general walking into a marriage don't have the assets that matter. Most people aren't walking into a marriage with houses, aren't walking in with like an inheritance that's, you know what I mean, walking down a line that they know about and things like that. But for the people, no matter what your income is before then, I think that would be like the thing. Johnny?
I got a question. I don't know if I want to answer it, but I'm not married. This is, I know the chat. We got a few married people in the chat up here on the stage. Is a prenup something that niggas got? Is that like amongst like the guys that I know that I don't really ask people. I don't be like, hey, you get a prenup? Like I don't like when people get married. A question that I usually ask people, but is it something that like
I didn't have nothing when I got married. I didn't have nothing, so I didn't need a prenup. I was 26.
Yeah, I did.
You did get one?
You said what?
You did or did?
No, I said I did. Yeah.
Oh, Oh shit, see, I ain't know. What about you, Steve?
I ain't have shit to put on paper to give away.
Okay, I guess that's the answer. Like the niggas who don't got them, they was like, we ain't had nothing. The nigga I know they got one. It was based off this quick sample size. It was like, yeah, you had a little couple quarters. He was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
So I
no,
guess
I think that like we
that's a
both had
rough
things.
correlation.
Like we
Yeah.
both had things that we were coming into beforehand. I mean that we had coming into beforehand that because of like neither one of us was thirsty. It was never like an issue of a conversation, and so like all the shit that went down with like it wasn't like a hard conversation, anything like that. It was, just like the basic regular conversation. Well, I don't know if it's regular because a lot of people just don't do it per se. But because of neither one of us was looking to come up off the other person, it made it really easy. That what you had beforehand is yours, and what you accrue together, we accrue together, and we, break that down. Like just really simple shit. Like the paperwork is a little different than that, but like that's the basic understanding of what everything is.
Oh no, because I ain't know. Yeah, I guess it's not something people really talk about. Like,
It's a
yeah, we got
sensitive, or it can be a very
yeah,
sensitive topic. Like it's not, every couple not gonna have a smooth conversation about a prenup. Like
Right.
it's not gonna
Yeah,
be
but to me,
taken.
to me, that would be a red flag in my opinion.
It
If we can't just
depends.
have like a regular conversation about it, then I will become weary.
Sure, yeah. If you can't communicate, that's a
I
red
agree with
flag.
that. I agree with that because like if we could, if I'm thinking about like, hey, shorty, I fuck with you. This might be. I might go tell them people I fuck with you. We might go down and put some suits on and do it. And
Mhm.
then, but you got your shit over there. I got my shit. You trying to protect this shit, and then somebody say, "Oh, whoop, 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 whoop." I can definitely see that giving me pause as far as like, ooh, why would I want to, move forward with this relationship and we hitting the hurdle with the prenup? So, uh, I guess is there any advice for bringing up that conversation, or like, like how would we?
You, you you better start having it before you even start thinking about like asking for marriage. Like you wouldn't even get engaged if this conversation is not even broached a bit. I would imagine. Like you don't get engaged and then start talking about the prenup.
Right, but then again, like the question would be, do you have things that it makes sense to have had a conversation with first? But if
Well,
not,
that's what,
it's not even like it becomes like a pointless conversation. I mean, unless we, but again,
I
like
mean, I
big,
mean, assuming you have the
I still think that
prerequisites,
it
like,
makes a lot of sense. Like if you know you're about to come into like my family or is well established with this amount of land X Y Z, and I love for us to be together forever. But if not, understand that this is something that's tied to my name, and you know what I mean. Like they're just kind of one of those is what it is scenarios. I think that that's a fair conversation to have, in my opinion.
no, I'm with it. I think so.
Steve,
Yo, what's up?
I was just seeing if you had
I,
commentary for it.
I mean, I agree. I think you should be able to discuss it, but I think obviously kind of display at a very, micro level. Most people don't really have nothing to where they even think
Yeah.
about. I need to be thinking about a prenup, right?
Mhm.
I think that's really more of what's going on than people don't really care about it or do they support it or not. I just think, we speaking particularly to like black folk, they they not typically coming from those type of established familial situations where prenups is something coming that people talking about or discussing or whatever. I
Yeah.
now in today's time is like my age, like if I was getting married at like 32, I definitely do think if I got married at 32, that would be something a topic I will be more likely to like broach with whoever I'm getting married.
Yeah. And so like I got married at like 36, 36. Yeah, 36. So like yeah, like it it becomes a different conversation.
Yeah,
And like
Yeah.
like, but you also have like things that outside of that, you got other responsibilities too that was here before that too. So it's like you I can get that, like how you said, but if you got a prenup over like I don't know the right, basically like the issue with prenups is that most times they get thrown out because niggas end up cheating, and then because they cheat, it voids the prenup, or that's like
right. But like to me, that becomes like, but you understand it. Even inside writing a prenup, you can make that a clause and not make it a clause.
Exactly.
Like
You gotta have it iron tight. You just gotta have it iron tight.
It's not even iron tight. Like y'all sit down and y'all like if like it's like a literal form that runs down a bunch of these itemized things, and that's a choice that you can make on there. Whether infidelity would be cause for it to be voided or not.
Yeah.
And if you know that, just break up with it and don't cheat. Or be really good with it. If not, when you like when we were talking about that roller coaster pussy, that's roller coaster pussy right there. Like
it's like the oldest story, that the first story you learn in terms of how niggas are set that flesh.
I think that should be the advice. Just don't cheat.
No, I agree. Like,
of course, that's the advice.
I'm niggas that cheat that had a
Kevin Samuels saying high value men gonna exercise their options.
Hey. She gonna exercise that out too.
There's something called the illusion of options too.
Tell him, Johnny. I think that that's perfect segue into the next topic. It says social media and marriage expectations. Has TikTok, Instagram ruined marriage by glamorizing unrealistic options and expectations for relationships?
It's played a role. What's that nigga? He would always do them videos with his girl, and then Jackson, yeah, he might be one of the forefathers of this shit going left. Jackson, he might be one of the forefathers of this stuff, man. But yeah, man, no, like it's too many pundits who are talking about this stuff in a way that's like not even from experience or even from like real consideration. It's like way too often when we hear folks like with these opinions, they don't come from a place of experience, and that to me I think is the biggest piece. Is like we take what's the word I'm looking for? We take this opinions and we take these thoughts from other people to be like laws almost, when in reality people got to just figure out what works for them personally versus trying to make their thing like something that somebody else is saying it needs to be. It's like the social media has put a lot of pressure too on the relationship that didn't exist. Because I know like when I first met my wife, that was one of the agreements we had at that era, was to not post each other on social media. We'll keep this off the internet. And that has become a thing now in dating world. Is like, you didn't post me, or you didn't mention me on this, or like stuff like that. And it's like oh man, this is another hot take maybe, but this is some stupid shit when niggas why am I married to you, waking up to you every day just to go on social media to tell you happy anniversary? Why do I got to do that? I just woke up to your ass.
You saying that you don't feel like you need to post your lady and tell her?
I just told you in the morning, my nigga. I just told you in the morning. Nah, nigga, I don't.
The same way you went down in front of them people and did them vows in front of your mama and all of them. You gotta
negative.
I mean, like the reality is that women want to be celebrated, bro. Like,
hey, well, look,
I don't think there's anything wrong with just saying happy anniversary.
That's how social media ruin relationships. The expectations. They not even.
G, you be wanting to still kind of like appear. I don't want to say single, but like it's the anonymity to it.
But no,
and niggas say I ain't posting no anniversaries. no pictures with
like,
my lady.
why do I need like I might post a picture of my lady like every once in a while, but like
Yeah.
I don't know why I need to go up here to tell her on the internet happy birthday.
To me, I think that it's just like a fair, easy gesture. But I'm also not like somebody like well, all y'all see me. Like I rarely like post like a bunch of like relationship shit at it. Well, I really don't post relationship shit like that at all. And like we have a little bit of like that agreement. Like we not like super social media people in general when it comes down to like just how we engage with the shit or anything like that. But I think that just it's never been like a statement like, hey, you need to post happy anniversary or happy birthday or
Some
happy
women are like that though, Q. Some women are like that.
I could imagine, but I would also say that like on Mother's Day, I think that it's just something that I feel like I should celebrate her. I think that it's okay for me to on my social media be like, happy Mother's Day. On her birthday, happy birthday to this amazing woman that I call my wife or something. You know what I mean? Like something like really basic like that with a picture of it. It take nothing but a minute and a half. It'll make her smile a little bit. It's okay.
That's
To me,
what I was gonna say. Especially if it make her smile. If it make her smile, it's worth it. Cause like, if you can do something to make your lady smile, just why not? Like, it's just
yeah, it's like maybe 30 seconds to a minute of time that it takes. I can see if like and this is
I ain't posting nothing, man. If I'm telling you face to face, that should suffice.
Mm-hmm. The anonymity boys. Look at them. Cameras off right now too.
That's just suffice,
I see
man.
it. Again, my thing is that for me, it's not even like that somebody's telling me to do it or like I said, like I don't post relationship shit like that at all. Like you'll probably get like a Mother's Day picture out of me. This will be our first anniversary, so maybe I haven't even thought about like what's gonna happen on anniversary or anything like that. But her birthday, yeah, I'll probably post a picture like that. But none of these things are required, nor even if I didn't do it, I don't think that it'd even be like an issue or a thing. But as just like a basic gesture, to me, it just seems like why not? So for you, why not?
I think it's because my woman, my wife is like private too, so it's not even like
right. So we the
same. We the same. So it's like it's never been we gonna post everything on the internet because I think we kind of come in with the same mindset of like when G said like he glad he not with his like one wife during the era where like it's a requirement to like post her online.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got when I started first giving my girl, it wasn't like that wasn't a thing. Like I'm finna post every time something happened, I'm gonna post it online. So I just think that's because that's
right. And I agree, but for me, I'm still like
for you. I think it's balance. Like if it ain't no pressure on you, I think that's cool.
But why you?
Let me ask you this real quick. So Steve, do you have a social media where your face is showing?
Yeah, Facebook, man.
Oh, and your lady don't get no posts on Facebook even?
Bro, only time you gonna see my old lady posted on my Facebook because my mama tagged me in a picture with her.
What up, Steve?
Oh man,
that's it, bro.
Look, the real I don't even know if I have like a picture on my Facebook.
Now, I probably,
but that's because like if I do something, it'll probably be like on a story or something like that.
I put her in my profile pic one time because like you say though, you know when you got a trophy wife,
just saying the same shit.
You got a trophy wife, you want to flex a little bit, you know, but you don't want to just be all out there with her. So I got in the profile pic, just let her know I pulled me a bad one, you know. So you know,
it sounds like y'all niggas saying about the same thing. All right.
I mean, look, it's the expectation.
Hey, hold on, G. Hey.
Go ahead.
Don't be expecting shit
like that. I was gonna say, but like sometimes like
posting women on your story.
Sometimes like you gotta do it just to let them know, and just to let everybody else know. And, like sometimes it's just a good healthy exercise.
Hey, listen, y'all gotta follow Johnny P. What's your Instagram? Sometimes you might see something on there.
Hey, chill out. But chill out. That was a couple weekends ago. We in a different. Yeah. But sometimes you gotta post, and it's
That's the real
like
BTS right there.
you say, what?
No,
That's the real
I
behind
don't.
the scenes right there.
I don't want to have those conversations in my relationship.
Yeah, to me, I
But
think that it would be toxic if you do have to have them though.
Yeah.
yeah, and anytime I post something, it's not because I'm pressured or motherfucker do that. It's just sometimes it be a good picture. You just appreciate the moment, the person, and it's just like why not?
You just gonna brag on your lady for a
So,
quick second.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing
especially
wrong with that.
especially
That's
if it gets you points. Like if it gets you points when you come home, I
Mm.
saw like why not? Like why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
Free game.
I don't understand the big ass text blocks of paragraphs written to your significant other that you are in the same house with on social media. I don't get it personally. Like, is it for her or is it for other people? Is it like what are you doing this for?
I mean, I think that if a person does that, they're doing that for other people.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
And it could be like for a moment to celebrate her and make sure that they broadcast it, or it could be like like people love attention on social media. That's
Oh yeah, by the time you get to the second paragraph, that's for everybody else. By the time you get to the second paragraph, that ain't for your lady no more. That's for the brand. But I will say this though. I think that's part of the reason, like, or part of the issue with relationships is like people are so like hyper focused on Instagram and the aesthetic and getting the post and oh I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go. A lot of people go on vacation nowadays just to get in the picture to post on the Instagram rather than going on vacation to enjoy the beach. And I think that people do that with marriages. I tell people, I tell women a lot of times, you treat your husband like a handmaid. He's just an accessory. You just in the marriage to have the thing, to like check the thing, and just so it looks good to other people without actually like enjoying it. And I think social media does that to people. You want it to look a certain way so other people think something versus actually being in a relationship that you enjoy, that you like, no matter what it looks like. But I think people will go with the exterior, the aesthetic, and how it's represented, more so than the actual relationship nowadays.
Gotcha. All right, so let's venture into some fun territory for a little bit with this marriage conversation. Um, in the Hotep community, there has been an epidemic of sister wives. There has been a new wave of advocacy for polygamy and polygamous relationships. Shout out to the guest we was going to have last week. I know a couple women that are advocates, a couple men that are advocates of, hey man, listen, it's going to get boring. You might as well, yeah. I mean, get yourself inside a nice little open relationship bag, a polygamous bag. So I asked this question: should we, as a society, start exploring different versions of marriages?
I'm gonna just say this.
The open relationship bull. Give it to him,
No,
Johnny.
I'm just open in general. Whether you want your relationship to be open in your mind, whatever. But
Mm,
do something that make you happy and that work.
mm.
Like I ain't gonna, I ain't sitting up here and telling people there's no one size fits all when it comes to this.
Johnny, we not
I
trying to
think
hear
there's
that.
a lot of
What would you do? What would you be open to?
what would I be open to?
Yes,
Oh, I ain't
because
got
you
time
always
for
do this with the questions. What would you do?
oh, I just need one. I don't need a bunch
Okay,
of
okay,
them.
okay,
All
okay.
right, so you not like you wouldn't be down for the open relationship.
I ain't saying I wouldn't be down for it. Like, I mean, I might like, hey,
Hey,
hold up.
hey, man, this how Diddy got started. This how Diddy got
Oh,
started.
Johnny boy,
No,
that's funny.
I'm just saying if we can fit another sister wife in here, you cool with it, I'm cool with it.
But that's a different version.
That's
Sister
not
wives
open.
is
That's
not
not
open.
open. Yeah, that's not open, brother.
Open means she gonna be getting cracked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like y'all
Oh
both
no,
going
fuck
out
that.
still get like
Nah, fuck
cracking
that.
crab boil. Fuck it.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
That new Red Lobster seafood boil too, nigga.
Yeah,
They gonna
both
be
niggas getting crab boils.
dipping cheddar biscuits in the sauce, nigga.
Nah, I mean, that's like you might well not get married. I mean, if you want to just fuck everybody, we might well just be friends with benefits. Like, what's the point of getting married and doing that?
Some
Like, if
people
that's what you
they
want,
they
you know,
got they say they got a point. I wish we had one of them on here. I ain't gonna lie. I think I don't see how it even functions like in reality. Like it just sounds too much of a headache for me personally.
I'm gonna have to find the clip, but it was a husband and a wife, but the husbands went together and the wives went together.
Oh, that's nasty work. That's nasty work.
Well, wait a minute, hold on, wait, time out.
Never mind, I ain't even gonna make that joke. It's not even a reason to make that joke. All
That's
right.
crazy.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I'm just so confused about what he just said. Like,
No, it's like you understood what he said.
I ain't got no comment. Y'all can just get back to that.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like everybody is not for the open relationship side of it. What about the polygamy, sister wives? They say that in some African cultures they practice that. In some indigenous cultures they practice that.
Muslim
that
too,
men
right?
in general aren't meant to be monogamous by nature. I don't know. What's y'all thoughts? They throw a lot of these things. Something about like kings and harems or some shit like that. I don't know.
In Islam too, Q.
I mean, hold on.
Branches of Islam that do.
I think that only happens in cultures where women like don't have a lot of rights.
Can't work.
That's what but that's the only place where you see it like at a mass scale. I think like if a woman out, like you can't have two wives working and both clocking in 9 to 5.
It really
like
only
how you gonna so unless you got a whole bunch of assets and you're willing to take that risk over and over and over and over again, it don't really work. We talk about modern relationships. I'm getting with a woman, she bringing something, I'm bringing something. You can't have more than one of those because equal partners in like the relationship. Now, again, we talking about what other people do across the world. That might work in those situations, but in America, I don't, really see unless you really, really got it how polygamy works in America.
If you're not in one of them countries where if you got to be in one of them countries where women can't show their ankles for this to work.
But also
listen, I ain't gonna lie, them Hotep women, they advocating for a heavy
but
right.
there's a cultural like context to it. Like when Juddy said we trying to apply an old concept to modern day relationships. Typically in African cultures, polygamy was practiced because whoever was claiming to be the leader, in order to unify everybody, he would marry from each sect, he would marry one of their daughters as a method of unification of a much broader group. So like from a historical perspective and context, polygamy, it served a political like purpose, essentially. Like it wasn't just like, I'm the king, I want to have all these women. They saw it as a function of making a community or society cohesive. Because if he just married one woman from one sect, it would be viewed as if he was showing favoritism to that one sect. It's
Johnny,
much more complex than that.
So Johnny, would you engage in polygamy?
Oh man, if the community need me to drop some off, I got it. I'll do it because I love my people.
Johnny, I'm just open. All right, so let me throw to another one. So let me find it where we at. In essence, it's the interracial conversation. Interracial marriages when it comes down to the Black community. Is there not benefit? And is interracial dating still a success? Or is interracial dating a success for Black America? That's the easiest way to kind of frame it. Welcome to the show, Unc. Johnny, we'll lead off with you.
Is it a success
for Black America?
I mean, that's a tough one. Like, I don't know, like historically, we have to look at the divorce rates amongst interracial marriages versus the divorce rates of same black on black marriages to really tell that. But I don't think it's been anything where it has hurt us. If anything, some of our best, Barack Obama, J. Cole, I ain't gonna say the boy from up north, but uh, there's been a lot of black people that have come from interracial marriages that have been successful. So I don't think we can say it's a failure.
Johnny said Rosa Parks stays seated on the bus so he can get with these white women. He don't know what the hell y'all talking about, man.
I see it. He ran down the mulatto greats just now.
That's crazy, bro.
Hey, Steve, that is not what I said.
Buddy said we got
J. Cole.
You start with Barack Obama and J. Cole? God damn.
None of them was married. None of their parents were married to each other.
Hey, man.
They just had interracial sex.
Nigga said Blake Griffin. Who else, Johnny?
They all had interracial sex.
LaMelo Ball. This nigga name, dog.
Tell him, Johnny.
He said, where would we be without them, man? Where would the race be without them?
Right. Tell him, Johnny.
Damn.
Talk to us.
What's happening? Which topic y'all on right now? Y'all still on polygamy or
we hitting the quick funny ones. Right now we're talking about interracial dating. If it's still good for Black America. If you had any other points that you want to go back to, feel free.
I want to go back on your boy. Y'all know that boy look like 50 Tyson. And y'all know he do.
That's what I was saying. I was trying to say, and it's that like a nice way that if
because he's an undesirable. He is undesirable.
He out here looking crazy, right?
We can't call him undesirable, man. We can't call him undesirable.
Who are we to judge?
That sound like using the N word with the hard ER. You can't call him undesirable.
He is an undesirable. He looks like 50 Tyson. All right. Would you say he don't look like 50 Tyson?
Steve, this is a question for you. Would you say that Travis Hunter don't look like 50 Tyson?
I'm not saying that. But y'all can't call the man an undesirable, man.
So you're saying that 50 Tyson is desirable?
I ain't a woman. I think we should ask the hoe.
Biggie was Biggie undesirable? He had hoes.
Yeah, Biggie was undesirable.
He had hoes.
He had bread.
But once you get, did you see his?
He had hoes when he was broke.
Have y'all ever seen Biggie's first baby mama?
I'm just
saying. Yeah.
First baby mama.
Have you seen his first baby mama? Yeah. I'm just saying, have you seen it? Okay, there we go. That's enough talk right there. Don't go for it. You can't go no further than that. The first baby mama always tell you what the nigga that ain't had no money, what he was poor.
Somebody, that's true.
The first baby mama always tell you what that first baby mama look like.
Yeah, it's hurt.
This a gem. I ain't never heard that one before. Judge a man by his first baby mama, and we gotta be on the lookout for the Ruge. I done learned a lot from you, man. For real. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I put one in the chat. I seen somebody else talking about some Ruge. They had one in the chat.
Yeah, that's first baby mama. What you were saying, G?
Q put her on the big screen.
Y'all sure that ain't his mama, bro. That can't be his baby mama, bro.
Yeah, that's his baby mama. You understand what I'm saying. Now you understand what I'm saying.
But hold up, my point though, Anki, is Travis Hunter been Travis Hunter since a young boy. So like
and he always popularity. It wasn't popularity.
Yeah, exactly. I think he might have been able to get something just off of being like the best athlete in the state.
That's somebody's mama, bro. Stop.
I'm just
I told you, Steve. Steve, what I tell you? Steve, what did I tell you?
Man, you not right, man. You didn't violate it twice. You didn't violate it twice. You violated again, man. That's 3 strikes, bro.
Just like a more.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's his
I'm
first.
just saying. That's.
Gee, I think you were talking about how he used to get females or something. What you was just saying?
I was saying
he was broke.
He got him when he was broke.
I'm not sure about that no more, G. Uncle made a strong case, man. That man made a solid case.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm just telling this everybody. This everybody look at their first baby mama. That's what they were pulling.
I'm saying, bro, everybody that made some questionable decisions when you ain't got the paper like that.
You ain't got the paper. Hey, that's not questionable decision. That was love. He loved his baby mama. You know that Ruge was intact. Come on now.
Oh, Ruge.
Man, when nobody putting they had this thing fully treaded all the way up.
Yeah, you know. Listen, they say God bless. They say God bless the ugliest with the best. So who knows?
I ain't say. I didn't say ugly. What did I say? I said they were what? Not ugly. I ain't saying nobody was ugly.
You told us to judge that nigga off.
You said that he was with an undesirable as an undesirable.
Exactly.
It make me think of the little guy from the 300 with the little shit on his back.
Oh yeah, the one that wanted to be a warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
the warrior class, Johnny. Y'all niggas kicked him out.
He was undesirable.
All right. So yeah, I guess as we still kind of just hitting some of the quick hitters. Would you recommend personally marriage to a younger person, fellas?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
Like you mean for them to do it younger, like to get married younger, or?
Yeah, the question simply is, would you personally recommend marriage to younger people?
No.
And I guess not necessarily getting married young, but to get married in general. Some people are advocates for marriage. Some people aren't advocates for marriage. Would you advocate marriage for a younger person to strive for as they get older?
I can't advocate nothing I ain't personally done myself, so I wouldn't tell them not to do it because again I ain't done it. But I tell them, follow that heart, and like again, I lean back to where we started. You love that motherfucker, you'll figure it out. And I think love goes.
Sorry, are you saying you wouldn't recommend and advocate for marriage for younger?
Nah, I'm single. How can I advocate? Oh yeah, you should get married, and I'm not.
Well, you can see something that's working for people. You're like that could work, and I just haven't achieved that thing yet.
I mean, I can tell them what I'm striving for. I tell them I'm not against it. I do it, but I can't advocate for people to get married.
Do you think that kids are more successful inside marriages? That they have higher successful outcomes?
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Do you believe that typically men are more successful when they are married? Just statistically speaking, when it comes down to like household income and gross over the time period that they're together?
I think successful men always end up married. I don't know if they're always successful because they're married. But I think they end up married.
Oh shit! I didn't see A Black came back. A Black, you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we done pull back up on us. I'll pull back too. Yeah. Same question.
I'm definitely pro marriage, but I wouldn't just be telling everybody to get married either.
Okay.
You know, like I'm just like when you were talking about the risk earlier, I don't want to downplay that there are risk involved. There definitely risk involved, like, but that's because of how powerful marriage is. It's like, you know, fires can heat up the home and it can burn it down. Marriage is that same sort of tool, in my opinion, where it's a tool that can be very, very stabilizing, nurturing. It can just do a lot of great things to propel you forward, but it can also really mess everything up if you don't do it with the right person. So, and not even you'll do the right person, like you yourself have to be responsible for your state going into a marriage, because you got to be emotionally mature and you got to be able to regulate, like, and process your feelings, because in a marriage, the worst thing you can do is blame other people for your inability to process your own emotions. And so, you know, it's not just about picking the right person. You got to do the work internally on yourself so that you can actually, you know, it's like training, you know, so you don't tear that ACL or tear that Achilles. You gotta really put in the reps so that when you get into that marriage, you're fortified to some degree to stand the test of time. It's not just something you play with. So
you saying that like men should train before marriage?
You gotta train. Yeah, you gotta put in the work.
What does that look like?
You got to put in the work. Like, you know, a lot of men are terrible communicators in terms of how they feel. It's hard for men to express themselves in an articulate way. It is. And if you are going to be in a marriage, healthy communication about your feelings is imperative. And so,
hey, you know, you just told us that over communicating was a red flag.
I said, over communicating is one thing. Not knowing how to communicate how you feel is not over communicating. Like, if you're upset and you can't communicate to your partner what's bothering you and why it's bothering you, that is problematic. That's not a matter of over communication.
You gotta call mama once a week.
Yeah, at least once a week is cool, Johnny. Weekly check-ins is cool.
Well, what you do if your wife says she don't care about how you feel?
You can't talk to G like
get
that,
married to her in the first place and she say that?
Yeah, you can't talk to G like that. Hey, Black, we don't even play like that.
You said, what does she do?
She would never say that to me.
Hey, if she
He's
do
not
that
worried
to G,
about her saying that. He worried about her mama saying that. Mama, mind your business. This our problem. Mama can't say that. Mama, mind your business. Mama, stop calling the house.
Gonna be blocked for
Mama,
a year.
leave us alone. G said, "Mama, leave us alone."
But if she does say that,
if Mama had a man, if Mama had a man, Mama would call her.
Yeah. If she said that, what will happen?
I can't even fathom. That's such a red flag. like I don't even entertain. Like that's not how we wouldn't have made it this far. Honestly,
hey, that's backhand territory. Like you'll be considered. Motherfucker tell you that shit.
What?
You might just pump fake that hoe one time. You might not really get that bitch off, but that's
he gonna do them 48. Steve said he gonna do them 48. Steve said I'm doing them 48 for that one.
Now I'm wondering what other territories there are.
I'm gonna at least shake her one hard time. She say that shit to me.
All right. So let me put a note in the room real quick. Is that what you were saying?
No. So what I'm saying is you got to know how to communicate. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think you gonna go somewhere with your man talking about you don't care about his feelings, you are mistaken. Like, you cannot tell no serious man, I don't care about what you feel. Like, ain't no nigga standing for that.
The wrong woman gonna try and get that off. But
not with
is that backhand territory?
Hey, look, I don't believe in violence, but you know, I find that disrespectful. And when lines are crossed and disrespect is met, you know, that's when things spiral.
I ain't say get it off. I said you might pump fake it. I ain't say get that off.
So a quick little goddamn.
My POV would be that I don't advocate for especially off words, niggas hitting females at all. I'd also say that yeah. To me, I don't really think that it's too much that a woman could say that's gonna make me want to put my hands on her. But stop dealing with you for sure. There's a bunch of things that like this is the boundary. You cross that one. All right, cool.
The best way you hurt a woman is to just cut her off. If you cut a woman off completely,
but not to excuse them, but women are good words. Like, women know how to not to say like.
Johnny, your connection. Something happened with your connection right now.
Oh, y'all can hear me?
Maybe now. Keep talking.
Okay, but now I was gonna say a woman that gets something like
it's still doing that same thing. Is it breaking up for everybody else too?
Yeah, it's like the swimming pool sound.
Yeah, Johnny, we gonna come back to you.
Hold on,
yo. To me, in my perspective, the best thing you could do to a woman just cut her off, leave her alone. Period. If you're not married to her and you doing something and you just leave her alone, that's worse than that. That's worse than a slap or anything else because see, you hurt her pride. You once you hurt their pride.
What about if you married though, huh? What about if you married? How many days can you go without talking?
If you married, that's a whole nother story. That's where that oh man. Ooh, you caught in between a rock and a hard place, and hell, you the snail next to the worm. Then, you know what I'm saying? You can't do no good. Because you living with that person, you up on the same roof with them, and all. Yeah,
you can't avoid them.
That's ugly. Then you can't avoid them. How can you avoid someone that you living in the house with? That's even if like me and my lady, we're under the same roof. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so fellas, let me get back on track really quickly. A Black, I guess we'll start with you. Would you advocate marriage to younger people as something that they should strive to do and get done at some point in time in their life?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think the concept. I mean, I think that's part of the disconnect is it hasn't really been advocated to our generation. I feel like heavily or properly, and then. You know, when you do hear about it, it's usually negative. You know, you ask the OGs about marriage, they say, don't do it. You know, or they'll say something that's like along the lines of like, stay single, basically. You know, so maybe we don't have like a lot of
outside struggling.
Yeah, so you don't got a lot of good examples, but I think the concept has to be, you know, valued and glorified again before you can even teach the youth, because you know. You battling with Glorilla and all and everything else is telling them to fuck niggas get money, fuck bitches get money, and it's everything is a microwave society. Even in relationships, it's pop and shop. But you got to create the value in something again for them to even follow it.
Gotcha. Johnny, you said no. G, you said it depends on the scenario. Unc said no. Steve, did you give us a POV on this?
I don't know if I would say advocate. You know, that's kind of weird because I think a part of the issue is people do chase that and they end up getting married because it's the social pressure thing. Like that's part of the reason why I feel like people don't stay married long, because like if you're just pursuing your life to be like a whole person, that eventually is you gonna reach that point where like marriage is the thought. And I don't think it's so much that it's not being pushed. I actually do think marriage is being pushed, but I just think
in what spaces?
Just in general, society in general. I just think
and again, like in what spaces? I guess like to me,
I mean, you can go look
like
on
young
you
people.
can look on the black channels, the white channels. There's a Black Love show. There's a Been Married Black 20 Years show, whatever the case may be. But I think when you go look at
comparatively, though, would you say that that's like? Do you think that it's equal or lesser, or more than the housewife shows, the singles and mingling shows, the ratchet turned up bad girls show. Yeah, the housewives when everybody just like nobody's married at all and they just like divorcees of shit.
I think the issue of lack of marriages is is mostly an issue at the male end of the equation. Because because men, all of the things that our grandfathers had, which said, okay, you now can get married, it is so much harder to obtain those things. And it is hard for a man to just be like, I'm just going to get married, even though I have not hit this that my grandfather hit for him to get married. Like my grandfather had a house at 20-some years old. You know what I'm saying? So our timeline is pushed because what we consider those milestones for marriage are just much more harder to obtain. I don't think people are not pursuing it. It's just they gotta. If you go look at any study, people are not opposed to marriage. They just saying, "Hey, I gotta knock out my education first. I gotta get a good job first, and then I can get married." And it's just pushing it to people's 30s, which I think is better for people to get married in their 30s.
Oh, no, I advocate for 30-year-old marriages, Johnny.
I think people getting married is pushed. Like I think like cause we even talked about like the housewives and like
they've had getting married is pushed.
But they've cheapened marriage where like they've like the getting out of marriage is it's so easy to get in and out of marriages where like the housewives, a lot of those are divorced women and they're living a lifestyle off of just being married, not necessarily staying in the marriage, but getting in the marriage. And I think
but they don't be married though.
But it's called housewives.
Still they're not married.
But most of them, but they're previously married people. That's why it's called housewives. A lot of them are divorced.
Right. What I'm saying is that I don't know the majority of the culture to specifically promote marriage as much as they do degeneracy and singleness, and especially inside male spaces, the idea of not getting married and marriage being kind of like an antiquated, anecdoted. I mean, what is it?
But hold on, Q. But I'm saying, but this is an issue I have with a lot of women, like even like with like some of my sisters, my niece, where like they're women that like they want to get married, they're looking to be married, but they watch shows that like where divorce is such an option, and it's this divorce lifestyle, and it's a cheapening of the marriage. And I think where there's a lot of people that actually really value marriage, and then there's a lot of people who rush to get married, and then they don't really care about getting divorced because it's just a lifestyle thing. And I think the rush of these people getting married for the aesthetic, for social media, it turns off people that actually really value like being long term in marriage. Because there's a lot of people.
I almost understand what you're saying, only if the shows that you're talking about weren't people that were divorced. So like, it's not showing them happily married ever. It's just showing.
But it's but they're previously married, and that's the like. I think that's.
Are you saying like people are intentionally getting married just to get divorced?
I think people don't care about getting divorced. I think they push the marriage, but that's why like a lot of these women are
on these shows. Like they're still single women.
And how many of these women have had 2 husbands, 3 husbands, and then
but the lifestyle on the show is them being single.
After the marriage, though, but I think the marriage, like, and I think that's why it turns off
them being married.
But I think that's why it turns off a lot of people because it shows just the negative side or the back end of the marriage. But to say that these shows aren't
marriage,
but you're saying, but these shows are based on a lifestyle that only marriage affords you. That's why it's the Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of LA, Housewives of New York.
So in essence, what you're saying is that they're trying to get married to regular niggas and get divorced for like it don't make sense.
Maybe not regular niggas, but I think that whole estate has.
Okay, so get married to rich niggas and divorce them.
Yeah. I think that's what they're doing.
But
I think they like.
I think it's like single degenerate shows out here. It's like bitches trying to be Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and Cardi.
Well, they call it housewives, but if it had nothing to do with getting married, it's called wives.
because like it's a selling point. It's just a brand. When you go in there, none of them bitches, none of them married, and they don't do married things. They're not living a married lifestyle at all.
But
They're just rich.
I don't think that a complete married couple would kind of be boring. It wouldn't be ratings because a marriage isn't all exciting like that all the time. It wouldn't be as exciting as them idiots that's on TV now and that's divorced from someone that had money. All it is it need to be ex-wife shows instead of housewives, ex-wives. That's what they need to call it because it's ridiculous. These women are out here and just living off somebody's money.
Yeah.
But I do definitely. But
gold, like if you're saying that it is advocating for gold digger lifestyle, maybe I can agree.
But
that's what I think it do.
At some point, we're just gonna have to accept the reality also that there's not the same incentive structure for one part of the equation not to get married, right? Like
right. So
marriage
like women,
entitled you to some legal right. So we just have to accept that now that you don't have to get married for legal rights, there are going to be some people who genuinely. Do you think all of our grandmothers wanted to get married? No, but that was an incentive structure built into the society to make sure like people got married. Was that necessarily a good thing? I would argue, contrary to popular belief, marriages in the 1950s was worse than marriages today.
Okay. I probably agree with this.
But people just think that act of getting married in itself makes it better because they got married more. But most housewives in the 50s was depressed, alcoholics, and on medication.
Yeah, this is a fact. And abused also. But yeah.
So maybe it's a good thing that it's not that's the same societal pressure for you to get like married and that same incentive for you to get married.
Or women I think that the idea that women can actually effectively choose and not have to be forced into a marriage is probably a benefit for like marriage, in my opinion. But like that's an entirely different conversation that kind of leads us into like the feminism arc that Johnny said that he was against.
It's a benefit for both sides though, because I think it makes men choose better partners.
I would
women.
I would say though,
niggas is trying to choose basic.
You have a floor, like you choose better partners.
No, but think about like I'm a rare nigga that says shit like that, and this isn't like a common vetting tool. But like, right now, what's most advocated for men is like this weird thing of like choosing really young women that don't have anything, so then they're moldable.
Most retarded shit I've ever heard.
Ever heard? Like it shit don't even make sense.
Hey,
you 38 to 22-year-old.
Okay, I ain't operating in this. That's weird. But
that's the common dating advice. You said what?
There's most niggas out here.
No, I said that that's very common dating advice. I think that you hear, especially from like any of the dating people online, like like if you go any version of Manosphere Red Pill, and I think the reason why a bit of that shit is dying out and almost dead is that when niggas had to actually choose to practice this for 5 years, they learned that this shit is a crash out mission.
The results.
You don't have anything in common. If you damn near 20 years older than your mate, what do y'all have in common? Hell, you by the time they were born, you graduated high school already. You were in college 2 years. Come on, bruh. What can y'all don't watch the same thing? The cartoons you watch when you was a kid, you looking at what the hell is that? I don't know what the hell no Smurf is. I don't know what
about the Looney Tunes when they first came out, original aired episode.
Right.
We watching anime now.
Exactly. I remember when the Transformers first came out.
I'm one of them niggas. Like I'm too old to be watching anime, bro. I'm sorry. All my younger siblings, listen, all my younger siblings, they be on the anime train. I'm too old. I'm past that age.
I could never do
it. I better watch Attack on Titan, Steve.
They got some cold ones, man. They got some cold.
They probably do. I ain't interested. Okay. They say they got animes for everything.
I'm not gonna advocate no more for it then.
They had the anime whites uptown this Saturday. The anime whites was in Charlotte.
I believe it. Listen, my little brothers
That's a
and
good
sisters
genre. That's a
anime
good
blacks
genre of
for
white
sure.
people.
Like they go to the little Comic Cons and everything. I ain't interested, bro.
Nah.
I like the anime whites, bro. They was
Well,
in cosplay. They was
everybody had
dressed.
their own thing. I still watch wrestling, so I can't talk about nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's me though. But that's something that you know what I'm saying right there. That's something that me and my people got in common. We watch
Yeah.
wrestling together. You know.
Oh, no, for sure. Listen, any of them Stricklands be watching wrestling. Mom Deuce, she gonna pull up the wrestling, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I grew up on a little bit of it, but then I phased out quick at a point. Cartoons, video games, and which like anime, like I just aged out. Like it was almost like a light,
Real outside boys.
huh?
Real outside boy. I mean, it's like I ain't play no video games. I ain't watch
No,
no
I did at a point. It was like
cartoons.
I want to say probably like 22, 23. I just stopped caring about it. It's like one of them little light switches that they be talking about like happened, and it was just like boop. I don't want to play this no more. Like it's weird, but that shit definitely happened.
Real outside boy. I feel you.
I got one last one that we can that we'll end the conversation on. We'll go around the panel, and then we'll end the show. Yeah, we over the 3 hour mark. So yeah. Can marriage save the black community? We'll start with you, G. Talk to us, brother. We can't hear you. We'll start with you, Johnny. Talk to us, brother.
Nah. I mean,
Nah? Okay.
I don't think save. Like when you say save,
Yeah, marriage is
that's
an institution. Can it save the black community?
nah, because there's been in the past where we've got married at higher rates. It didn't save the black community. Like
Was this the time that black people were doing quote unquote and progressing at a better rate or no?
but look where we ended up. Like I mean, like I get it. That
Um,
like
what would you say
it
would
was
be the result where we ended up at? What would it be dealing with destroying the black family and taking the man and the marriage out of the equation, or help me understand your framing.
No, I'm just saying. I think we need more. Like I ain't against
More,
like
what you mean with by more marriage? Like it can save or can't save? What are you saying?
we need more outside of just black marriage in order to save the black community.
Okay, so who we need more of?
Militancy, but that's for another show. But I think that's the real answer. But like, yeah, marriage can help.
So black.
Yeah.
All right, let's just we got 45 seconds to go down this line. Really. So black militancy. Exactly how are we going to exercise black militancy in America to get something that we need?
I mean, just similarly to like where the Black Panthers, did it, just stand on business. Militancy doesn't have to deal with just like the same way the boys in January 6th did. All them motherfuckers got part. And like, I mean, you just have to have
What did they get done?
warrior.
They like their mission didn't get accomplished, and they went.
They got their boy back. They got their president back. And they all got part.
No, January. They did years for a nigga to actually have to go back through the process. It didn't work what they tried to do. They was going there to stop the election.
But he eventually got back in
Black Panther Party. We love the Black Panther Party and what they was attempting to do. I don't know if
but that was the closest we ever
got to the end goal at all. You said what?
That was the closest we ever got there. Was the things they were attempting to do. It's a reason why, like, white people believe in that Second Amendment. So, and we finna go somewhere else. We talking about black marriage. I think it'll help.
Because you think black people can beat the government? Is that what you're saying?
Johnny didn't watch one of them Farrakhan videos before we came on.
Oh man,
that shit be getting him hyped up, man. That shit get him hyped up.
Johnny like pregame like compilation. You could tell.
Yeah,
like,
Johnny, at the beginning of the show, you talking about we need to be careful about that socialism. Then you bring up the Black Panthers. Them niggas is beyond socialist.
Definitely. Shout out to the free breakfast and lunch program. G, talk to us.
And the question
Can
was,
marriage save the black community?
I mean, it's a strong statement to say that just get married and shit is gonna get fixed. I think that's like an extreme, but I think it's definitely
if our marriage rates went from 20% to 80%.
I think that would be a huge positive for the community. No question. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think like foundational communities are stronger when people are committed to each other. So like, when you are in a neighborhood with other married couples with families and stuff like that, they tend to communicate more just about like what's going on in the neighborhood, looking out for just whereabouts and stuff like that, people coming through. So I just think from a community standpoint, when people have that commitment to each other, then they have more stake into like what's going on around just their environment more than folks who are kind of like out here young, wild, and free. So I think it's definitely a benefit, and it would be a huge step forward if that in fact did happen.
And I guess I would say that, like, statistically speaking, the communities with the highest marriage rates are also the communities that have like the highest like socioeconomic placement as well. Just a thing to throw out there. I think the Asians, their marriage rate is like 60%. Steve, talk to us, then we'll go to
I'm gonna say definitely it's a no. I think the scope of the problem is beyond just black people getting married. And I kind of also agree with, to a degree, kind of G point. Like, it don't really matter if you get married if it's not gonna cause you to kind of like engage, which I really think we getting at. What we get married, but what are the politics of these people who get married? Like, if there's no, politic of these unions, and we just think, we just gonna do it on our own or whatever. I mean, we was married at one point and the politics wasn't right. And look where we at. We had a 60-70% marriage rate at one point in this country, but the community wasn't aligned on one agenda. And so that being married didn't.
So you think that black people in general have to be aligned on the same agenda to progress?
I mean, the reality is, I know this is gonna be controversial to hear me kind of say. I don't actually believe in the concept of a black community, because.
So then your answer be no, then, right?
Huh?
So your answer be no, right?
Yeah. So I mean, because too often we use this all-encompassing idea of black community.
All right, so that back into the point that you was just making. Then, so because that seems contradictory a little bit.
My point I was trying to make is, I don't think like the marriage don't matter as much as the politics of the people who get married. And the reason why I don't fall into this trap of the idea of the black community, because there's no way ever, like you said, do I think that black people, all of these ideas have to be aligned? I do think to a degree, but we gonna have to change our idea of who's allowed in the community and who's like not, because everybody can't be in community with the all black people, because some people just class interest is just gonna be contradictory to most of the black people. That's why it's so complex when we talk about black politics and all moving as one, because there's literally a class of black people who have politics that's contrary to the benefit of all the rest of the black people. That's why it's
Are you talking about niggas?
No, I'm not even talking about.
He's talking about more bourgeoisie.
Whatever. That's why black politics is so complex, because most black people are poor, but the people who represent us are not poor, so they don't advocate for things that will help poor people. Or most black people, middle class, lower middle class.
Talk to us.
I think that it could be useful because I know that the way I think about it, when people are married, especially if you're raising kids, if you are raising kids, it's better. I think it's better for it to come from a two-family household. But I do agree with, what I'm saying, y'all have to have the same mindset and everything. But I think, far as in the community, it kind of helps out because if you are married and what I'm saying, and you're married and you're doing the right, and the people in the community see things like that, and the kids growing up see positivity with it, it will put forth a structure for them to probably want to do that and do the right thing and be a better person and everything. And my thing is, a lot of times I see people that are married, even though what I'm saying, a lot of times they do a little bit better in life, especially if they pick the right person. You pick the right person, you're gonna do well because you're not gonna have to stress on the outside of things. But I think it might make a difference, but then it might not. But I really think it really could make a kind of a good. What I'm saying, it's good for the community to see that. To see black love. That's something that you don't see. You see people say marriage, but see what you need is black love.
Now I feel like
I'm married don't mean that you're in love with that person or whatever. Because there's a difference between loving someone, being in love with them, and just being with them. Because you could be with someone, not be in love or love them, but you're with them for a certain reason. But to love someone or be in love with that person, you step into a whole new realm of functionality then.
Gotcha. And I guess what I have some agreement and some disagreement with you. I think black love is cool. I think black marriage is way, way more important. To me, I probably go on the side of saying I think that black marriage could probably be like the revolution that niggas want to care about. When it comes down to everything that it specifically like the offspring of that, no pun intended. When again, like if you just look at people that are married at the highest rates of ethnic demographics and their success in America, it's a 1-to-1 correlation. Like it's not like a really hard thing to look at and be like, huh. And again, causation isn't correlation, but I would also say that for me, I think that strong families, income, financial literacy, and education are the backbones of what will make the black community progress and be better. And I think that all of those are better through the institution of marriage. That'd be my take. But, again, we all have differing pieces. But with that said, we have unpacked the conversation as best as we could. We have me, I'm Q, the host. We have G, the king, G-ish podcast. We have Johnny, a third of the To Be Fair show. He's getting his same white women take something. It's a joke, Johnny. I'm just playing. He's
hey, hold on. I love my black queens.
30.
I love it.
Yeah, like look, we talking about love. What Unc say? We talking about black love. But Steve, our guy from Cali, San Diego's finest, and Unc.
There we go.
Everybody's uncle. It's funny being in the Discord and everybody say, "Hey, Unc." But nonetheless, this has been a fun episode. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. Everybody that called in. Shout out to all the viewers rocking with us. This has been another fun episode. If y'all do want us to do a part 3, maybe we can actually explore like the dynamics of
gotta get them polys up here.
The polys. I'm about to say marriage in the black community, or if we could go completely red pill on it. And just just a whole shit show. But if y'all want a part 3, throw the threes in the chat. Throw the threes inside the comments inside me and G. If not, we're gonna move on to a different topic. But let us know. Talk to us. With that said, this has been Unpacked, presented to you by the To Be Fair show and the G-ish podcast every Wednesday. 9:30. Catch me 4:30 this coming Sunday. To Be Fair show. G, catch you when the drop coming?
Soon.
Drop coming soon. And with that said, we out. Peace.